I'm Marlon. Welcome back to the Extra Gravy Show. And Alicia's late. Alicia's late. I ain't even go. Can we get a camera pan to her chair? That's where Alicia sits. She's not there. We're working on a hologram for times like this. Just gonna get an AI Alicia to fill in. But we're joined by royalty regardless. Guy, especially in his black blood clot, is instrument. In this black history month here, we have someone who made black history, man. Listen, you are, what did they call her? What they were calling her, Canadian Olivia Pope at one point. You gave this city a lot of hope, especially for the working class people and the everyday people. You were a voice to the voiceless, and you listen. You gave a lot of people a reason to pay attention to politics again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Chloe Brown in the building.
Thank you.
Make some noise, Magna. Make some noise. I need some gunshots. A little too conservative. She's Jamaican, you know. She's Jamaican, you know. We're claiming this one in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. We are claiming this one. Grenada, I saw you guys out there trying. Somebody was like, yo, Brown's a Grenadian there. I was like, nigga. She eats curry goat, not goat curry. Not true. We got to set some straight here. Those South Americans. What are those Guyanese South Americans over there? Saying things backwards. Letting the Brazilians influence them. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just figuring out how foreign relations are going to survive this.
Listen, we just got to mandate the name. Curry goat. None of this reverse shit. Do you guys call it juice box or box juice?
Yo.
Because one's empty. I'm going to tell you guys right now. One's empty. It's called box juice. Because the juice is boxed. All right. But, yo, we got Chloe Brown here, man. Former mayoral candidate. Also, you were doing a plethora of jobs.
Yeah. Right now, I work at the Future Skills Center, where I basically assess how the federal government is spending its money on skills development. I track how a federal transfer program goes into the provinces and essentially makes its way into the city. And yeah, I like what I do, and it really just breathes into the other work that I do when I'm on stage.
It seemed like it. Yeah. Like it seemed like you had the data. You know what I mean? Where a lot of people fail to have those numbers to back up what they're saying and what they're proclaiming on, especially during the debates. It's a lot of just grandiose talk of what I plan to do, and with no like concrete of plans to back it. Did you find that a lot even during your debates?
Yeah, I help on campaigns when I'm not campaigning myself.
Okay.
And one of the things that always like hits me is that they'll come up to our neighborhoods, use us as props, but they won't actually act on the data that is given to them. And yeah, when I got on that stage, Sarah Kleimanhag, she had like, oh, I'm against mandates, I'm against rules. There's all 400 rules. And that's why I was like, yo, stop. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's clear to me you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a very blanket statement.
Yeah, and that's one thing that irritates me about politicians. You're going to get on stage and you're going to generalize, and that's going to impact so many people's lives.
Yeah.
So just do your research, come with the data, and stand on your word, 10 toes down.
This is not the weather. You can't just guess what is going to happen with citizens' lives. Like, this is real life. Like, you're dealing with a lot of... Every decision you make is like a snowball effect that could turn. We see it. We see it happening now. The effects of a lot of decisions made years and years ago,
or like the lack of decisions,
or the lack of.
Yeah. And this is where a lot of people don't realize like political inaction is just as devastating as political action.
Talk about it. I didn't know you were bringing bars today. Hold on.
Yeah.
We got a bag back there. We need a bag. She can't carry all these bars. This is crazy.
Hip hop raised me. Shout out to the rappers out here.
Yes, you were. Listen, some of those debates are a little battle rappy. I seen you pointed.
Yeah.
A 1-2 clap.
I got.
Listen, B.
Honestly, I'm from Rexdale, Islington, and Finch till I die. And
talk about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, we come from these neighborhoods that are reported as violent, but our whole sense of community comes from there. The reason why I got on that stage primarily was because I got the degree, I got the right job, I got all the right things. For anyone to tell me I'm not able to do that job was madness to me.
Yeah.
I work for politicians, you know what I mean? And this is where a lot of millennials, I find, are getting their talents underutilized. Because you have people like John Tory who refuse to leave their position, refuse to take expert advice, refuse to listen to community. And it's like, yeah, I had to bat him up. Like, how are you going to take the highest office with the highest responsibility and then come in and act like you have no responsibility?
And chill.
Yeah.
Coast for 8 years.
Coast for 8 years, have second job.
Fuck, gal. Listen, we're going to talk about it. Come on in. Come on in. Jeez, look at the jacket, though. Drip, drip. Drip, drip. Drippy Alicia is here. Adidas stout.
Oh, my God.
Never wears two brands. Never wears two brands. Always keeps it consistent.
I was like, do I have Nike socks?
Do you
on?
ever do that?
Nike socks?
Like a
Nike
Nike? Yeah.
Like socks, yeah.
Anything. Like, oh, so you'll mix and match a Nike socks with Adidas fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause it's
But not the
socks.
kicks.
But not publicly.
Only
Like-
in my house.
No, but like if my socks were like over my pants or something, like if you could see it,
Mhm.
then I'm not doing that.
That's
If
politics
it's
right
like,
there.
yeah.
That's politics.
If it's like, you know, covered, then I could wear the Nike and Adidas and Puma and whatever. A lot of my socks are Puma. Puma has the best socks.
Puma?
Low key.
Socks
Like, I
in
don't know,
there?
like they're cheap. Like you can get them anywhere. At Costco, you can get them. They're just readily available.
Kind of like John Tory's things. Listen, we're gonna. You didn't miss too much. You didn't miss too much. We are here joined obviously by Chloe Brown. Are you trying to find which one's this
No,
one's
this
yours?
one's mine.
Is that
Mine's
yours?
one.
One?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just we're
Well
discussing inadequate white men. And
So
all
all of
that they
them?
do. I didn't say it.
I said
She's
it.
half white. She can say it.
I can say it.
That was a Caucasian half. But yeah, no, I feel like that's prevalent. Like what you said is prevalent across so many different sectors. When you talk about music, like the sectors, at least that I know, in the media, when you talk about things that get greenlit for TV, music, labels, all that stuff, it's a bunch of old people who don't have their finger on the pulse, who go home and ask their kid what's hot, and whatever their kid says is
what gets funded.
what gets pushed. Because that's ask your friends at school what's hot. And like that's their research instead of looking at the people that are in the field, really out there working with independent artists to be like, who should we be fucking with?
Because then you threaten their job. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. If nobody wants to relinquish their power, no one wants to relinquish that line bypass.
Because listen, where are they gonna work after?
Go work on your yard.
Well, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people don't realize wealthy people just occupy positions. They don't work.
Yeah.
And
Once you get to a certain level, I feel like you don't really do that much work.
well,
You manage like people to do the work.
I know CEOs that are hands-on, you know what I mean? Where they're actually going through every level of the company, making sure people are good. John Tory's not that guy. John Tory is like, yo, I got this spot. Y'all go deal with the poor people over there. I'm going to the country club. I'm going to take whoever with me. And that's the thing. Like, have you seen John Tory in public outside of a campaign? Like,
Once,
he might as well be a spirit.
And he looked very angry to be
It was
there.
it was at the remix graduation.
Yeah, that nigga looked cheese to be
I
amongst
was
so many
literally just
blacks.
talking about it. I was like, he was not interested in being there.
Not it at
He dissed
all.
Norm so many times. He would not shake Norm's hand. He like
Norm
literally
Kelly?
no,
Okay.
our Norm.
Sorry. There was like another old white.
Yeah,
like,
we know
yeah, we
about
know
that
Norm.
one. Yeah.
I
Thank
can't
God
believe
he's
it.
gone.
Yo, I remember like he got hot because he was dissing Meek Mill. Like,
All he did was tweet.
yeah.
I'm like, the city's burning, sir. What are you doing?
Part-time.
Craziness.
Too, bro.
I feel like our every day we wake up is just another Law and Order like episode with our mayors.
Yo, for real.
Like
We
the
do have like headlining mayors. I can't even say
headlining just leadership in general.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau's bullshit that he's gone through. He's been the whenever you're the butt of late night jokes and you're not American, oh, you fucked up. Because they don't care about anybody else. You've got to actually make some real news, a real splash for these people to pay attention to you. Doug Ford's been a late night troll. Rob Ford was literally on late night TV as a guest because of his crack and just was so proud to be there. Yeah. He didn't even really deny anything.
Having Jimmy Kimmel roast him of all of the
to his face, and he just laughed and sweat. Yeah. God rest his soul. Great Jamaican, a great Jamaican in Canadian history. We're not gonna diss Rob Ford.
Shout out to State Queen.
But John Tory, man, this news came out. I feel like this is gonna be like when Kobe died. Like, where were you when John Tory admitted he fucked somebody at work? What? And I've been hearing we've been getting our inside source. We have our inside source.
Yeah.
We've been hearing some wild things. All alleged. I gotta preface that. All alleged. We don't know any of these things. No expert advice. No eyewitnesses. Just some inside sources. And allegedly, John Tory was going around telling people to call his dick the CN Tower.
That's ridiculous.
And who wanted to go to the 360 restaurant? Mr. Bombard.
Yo, I can't.
You know how much salad is there? That's crazy.
Men disgust me. I just can't.
It is. Like, first of all, CN Tower is whatnot. I wouldn't have went with it. Because nobody actually goes to the CN Tower. It's all tourists, but maybe that was his plan all along.
Get the foreigners?
Hey, man, apparently he was using my good tax money to fly on Gallivant.
That's the thing that, like,
Elia, Europe on all them trip there.
When
she was on it.
When this man should have been promoting Music City, what was John Tory doing? And that's what's really getting to me. It's like, yo, you could have done this on your own private dollar, but you chose my money? Yeah. I'm already broke, bro.
While telling us to stay home.
Yeah.
While telling us to stay home, he's digging foreign crutches. This is unhinged. I don't care. I hope CTV, I hope y'all see this. This is nuts. This is crazy.
No,
this was like, yo, Eglinton West has been...
Oh my God.
Under construction.
It's been 136 years.
It really has. I don't ever understand that. Every time I go back, every like 5 years, it's still tore up. I'm like, what the fuck? It looks the same.
5-year intervals is crazy. That's so funny. But anyways, man, listen. When you were running, how did you feel about the reception? When like, were you watching everything, or were you trying to stay off the internet? Like,
honestly, I just didn't even think about it. I just put my $200 in, and I was like, yo, John, I'm coming, bro. I'm just so done with, like, the old retired establishment that it's like, you have no hobbies, no bucket list, so what? You're going to come ruin my life and delay my birth plan? Like, come on, bro. And this is the thing. It's like, a lot of, even I fell into the trap of thinking, like, John Tory's too big to fail. And that's kind of why, like, I have to apologize to Toronto. I came in with, like, a B- effort.
I don't think so.
I think I could have done a lot better by y'all.
Did you hear how much money you just said you put in there?
Yeah.
200.
How much did they put in?
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like, the entry fee's $200, but, like, my total budget was like $2,000.
Okay.
So it's like I got 17 votes for $1. And that's what I really went in to do. It's like, yo, for the least amount of money, how many votes can I get?
Facts.
And as a policy analyst, it's like, no one does that in my profession. We're too busy trying to make sure, like, John Tory and Doug Ford don't look bad.
Yeah.
But I had some time, had some money, and I was like, just leaving my relationship, and I'm like, yo, I gotta do something for me.
Oh, not the breakup fire, not the breakup energy.
Oh,
her breakup energy.
Every time she looked at John Tory, she saw that nigga. You're a liar.
Well,
gosh.
honestly, best thing you can do after a breakup is dive back into your community. You know what I mean? These are the people that support you no matter what happens to you.
Facts.
So it was like, yeah, like, yo, forget this guy. Let me go back to my tribe. Let me go represent the people that actually have been holding me up as I've been processing this grief. And honestly, like, best decision I ever made. Like, I missed being in community, talking to people, like getting down to the heart of the issue. Because, as a policy analyst, I look at the reports. I get your phone calls. Like, I get all my data from you, but I never get to see you. That's the politician's job. So it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like, in my profession right now, all of us are stressed. Like, policy analysts, policy developers, it's like, we are only as good as the people that are elected. And if the elected government comes in with a messed up mandate, it's like, I still got to see that through, even if I think it's ethically wrong. So
it's like defending, being a defendant's lawyer. And you're like, this guy actually did it.
Yeah.
I got a witness.
Say shit.
Yo, Lincoln lawyer. Like, I don't know if you've seen that Matthew McConaughey piece, but it's like, yo, I got to do something before he gets me.
Facts.
You know?
How do you deal with that, like, ethically for yourself? Like, how do you unpack that when you're working under those, like?
I got, like, my side hustle. So it's like 9 to 5, I do the empire's bidding, and then from 5 to 12 a.m., it's like I'm plotting how to dismantle the empire.
And you got the inside information.
Yeah, and that's, if you watch the show Luther, there's a really good quote that's like, you have to learn the rules of the game to change the state of play. And that's why I'm a policy analyst, because it's like, I beg the government to come for me. Like, you can't come for me unless I say, I don't care how big you are. You know?
No, but it's just like, watching you during those debates was like watching those videos on TikTok where a police officer pulls someone over wrongfully and that person knows their shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you hear them like, well, actually, section blah, blah, blah says. And you're just like,
you can't
give it to them. Fuck those niggas. That's what it felt like watching you through all those debates. Every time they said something, and we as the people, we're civilians, we don't know the information. So sometimes we get lost in the jargon. We get lost in what they're saying. And they make it complicated on purpose so that people cannot be more involved.
And they get flustered, especially in these high intensity like moments. You know?
Exactly. We're in the most stressful times ever. Like, people just want to hear solutions, and they're just listening to buzzwords, not like what the concrete plan is to get there. And a lot of time the plan steps on other people. So it's like, just seeing somebody actually know what's being said in order to flip the conversation back and retort something of value. It was like, you planted a seed, I'm pretty sure, for like kids, for anyone in the city that really wants to, what happened?
The lights are going off.
For anybody that that wants to get into that line of work and wants to see some changes in this and don't know where to go and don't think that, especially thinking you need millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to campaign. You showed you need 2,200.
Yo, honestly, like, that's the thing about Canadian politics. It's very slow behind America. Like, America's found the way to really rapidly use social media to get things moving. And you see that with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So, when I saw people say, like, oh, she's the Canadian AOC, I was like, yo, calm down. Like, we're just getting the tools.
People were making you that, though. It wasn't even necessarily you. Whereas AOC, she's, you know, doing a lot of the marketing. Whereas you, it was like, people were just like, yo, have you seen this? It was really like, just people were amazed.
I remember, sorry, I was just going to say, I remember how I first like heard about you. I was getting my nails done. So I was in the nail shop, and, you know, they always have CP24 on. And you were in the middle of debate, and like this white woman was like, looked over at me, and she was like, who is she? I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't even watch the news. I don't even know what's going on right now. I don't even live in Toronto. And she was just like, okay, so is she just like trying to like, you know, run? I'm like, I would assume so. I think this is the debate. And then she started racism. No, but then she started like listening to you, and you're just like going off and stuff. And then she was like, she looked back at me, and she was like, she's making really, really good points. And I was like,
she bodying it.
And then you started getting like, everybody started talking. Like the lady next to me, she started like jumping in the conversation, and like the whole nail shop just started talking about it. And I'm like, this would be great now if like, well, I guess none of them lived in Toronto either, but it would be great if we all lived in Toronto and then they could have voted for you as well, right?
Honestly, like I didn't realize how real it was until my mom called me. My mom's like,
Oh yes.
It's always the parents.
My girl, my daughter.
no, it wasn't even like that. My mom's like waiting for Go Bus,
Mm.
watching this girl watch me on TikTok, and I didn't even tell my parents I was running.
Oh my gosh.
Because like that's the thing. It was like, yo, I'm just gonna spend $200, do a little thing. Like,
yeah,
we'll
you
see
didn't
how
think it was gonna
goes.
become all this. Yeah.
So like my mom's just like, what are you doing on TikTok, Chloe? Like what's going on? Like what is this? I'm like, yo, I'm just doing a little thing, you know, like I'm just running for mayor. And she's like, excuse me? Like, that's not a little thing. Like, what are you on?
It's
and, like,
amazing.
and that's the thing. It's like, because it was 2 months, I'm like, yo, let me just do what needs to be done. And that's like have a real talk with these people. And being working class, like, you know, we have real talks.
Yep.
The upper class, like, they do this, like, beating around the bush, stiff upper lip, like, oh, I'm passive aggressive, and I hate that.
Yep.
Like, if you have something to say to me, say it to my face or run off.
The only time they're passionate is when it's in to protect their own interests.
Yeah.
When it's something that could cut into their taxes or raise their property tax or anything like that, then it's I'm charged up. But let it be our issues. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They don't give a shit.
And that's why it was really important to me, win or lose. Like, John, like, you can't rob me and think you're going to walk through my neighborhood untouched.
Yeah.
Like, that for me is like, that's a message from Rexdale. And it's like, I don't care what type of suit you put yourself in. And that's the thing. John Tory to me is a scammer. He's a con artist.
Talk about it. Talk about it. I like that. I like that. Hold on. Let me put on the real voice for you. Hold on. All right. Yeah, get into it. Tell the people.
So John Tory has just been like, yo, for real. If you think about it, you've been putting millions of dollars into John Tory. This man has no product to show for it. What type of Ponzi scheme has he been running? And this is the thing, like, because he's rich, people don't think like, oh yeah, he's running scams. Man has not worked a job in his life. He's just been riding off his dad's coattails. John Tory cannot produce any form of like work product. You know what I mean? And being as poor as I am, if I give you money and you say you're going to do something for me and you come back to me empty-handed, what do you think is going to happen?
When you already have so much?
Yeah,
It's
like, I'm sorry, but your name's not Creflo Dollar. Like,
yeah.
you can only feed me so many prosperity gospel before I'm like, yo.
Start looking through the books.
Yeah, and that's what that really was about. Like, me going through the books and being like, John, I've given you all this money. Where is
I'm dead.
my product?
Your whole mayoral debate was, let me touch those pockets real quick. Yo.
For real.
That's so funny.
I was trying my best to be professional, and like, I fully understand I wasn't media ready or polished, but like, that wasn't the goal. The goal was like, shake up John. Like, where is the money, John?
People should, but everybody should be looking at it like that. Like, your friends do it to you guys, and you look at it like that. If your friend borrows 4 bills from you right now, and then says they don't have the money, but then they buy a booth, you're gonna be mad.
For sure gonna be like,
see them popping bottles on Snapchat. You're gonna be angry. You
My
know what I mean?
My mom doesn't let me borrow money without like issuing out a payment plan.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Interest.
Like, Jamaican people don't play about like
Do not.
dollars and cents.
Facts.
You think I'm gonna play with some strange man and you're running through my money? Like,
it's craziness.
I'm a financially prudent person. I don't have kids right now because it's like I can't afford them.
Don't we? That's all of us.
And you're, you're 68.
You can afford it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think John Tory thinks about how many life plans he's putting off with his inaction. You know what I mean?
They don't care. He knows that he doesn't care.
I know, and
that's the problem.
Yo, that's sociopathic. I've watched enough Law and Order to know, yo, there's narcissism, sociopaths, and psychopaths. You're on sociopath stuff right now.
Damn.
Leave before you go somewhere where we can't come for you.
Well, something very sociopathic is resigning and then calling people at their houses and saying, Do you think it was a good idea that I resigned, or you think I should stay? I'm
Oh
thinking
my
about staying. I don't know. I just want to feel the temperature of the room.
And that's why I didn't make any comment, because I'm like, yo, let the weekend pass. Let me respect his wife. Man showed up on Monday, and it's like, you clearly don't respect your wife.
Yeah.
All bets are off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry
So,
to everyone.
so will you be running again for mayor?
It is looking like a strong yes.
Cheers! It's actually gonna be exclusive. World premiere, exclusive, and I am Bomba
I
Club.
wanted to give you the exclusive.
We did it, Joe. We are out of here.
Yeah.
So okay, what happens now? I have no clue what happens now. You know, so if he resigns, is there going to be another? Because I'm like, yo, this is crazy that it happens right after the election.
Yo, the
I was
ink
like,
is
why
not
couldn't
What a
it, like-
waste of
Like,
money.
you know, I was like, why couldn't it have happened in like the summertime when
It's
it was like
bittersweet. It's
election
bittersweet.
season, and then he could have just been gone. It would have been
Yeah.
easy for. You
It
know,
feels
I
like
feel
we're
it's a
trading
lot.
Kawhi and Kevin Durant right now.
Yeah.
And getting nothing back.
Don't even get me started there. Like, I blame that on John Tory.
Facts. That's what we're gonna do for the rest of the 2023. I think
Just
blame
blame-
Tory is. I mean, both Tories at this point. Doesn't
Tory
matter which
lanes.
ones.
It is a bad
Tories
year
are
for
down bad.
Tories, bro.
Hey man,
Like,
somebody check on Tory spelling. I don't know. Is she alive?
Aw,
Tory
leave
spelling
her
alive?
alone.
No, I'm serious. Is she alive?
Yes.
Check on her. Security. Craziness, man. You
Wait,
you-
so she never
oh.
answered the question. What's gonna
Oh,
happen
yeah,
now?
yeah.
So
yeah, so John has to officially submit his
resignation.
resignation, and that's why like I haven't said anything like confidently, because he hasn't submitted his resignation, his passkey. I have not seen this man walk out with his box of things.
Yeah.
Mm.
That makes me suspicious.
Yeah.
You know what
Facts.
I mean? So once that's done, then the by-election will be called by the deputy mayor.
Mm.
And once that's called, there's 60 days to get that done.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
What a turnaround.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, luckily, I did this 2-month turnaround, so I'm
Facts.
familiar with it.
Yeah. Climate hasn't changed too much.
Yeah. Honestly, like, we're, what, month 2 into 2023?
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm
Feels like month 6.
Yeah, I'm just as shocked as everyone else, because like this is a man the same age as my father. If my father was out here running around
Hey.
on my money,
Listen,
on
not too much on Tory today. It's Side Chick Day. It's
yes,
Side Chick Valentine's Day. Shout out to John Tory's Ting. We see you. We hear you. We respect. No, not really. Okay. It's our money. You
She works for
wasted it.
Yeah.
MLSE, right?
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly.
yes, she's
Hmm.
allegedly working at Maple Leaf Sports. So now my sports ticket money is going into this affair, and like I need receipts, I need invoices,
I need restitution.
Yo, like this is how reconciliation starts.
Facts.
Give me my money back. It's such a small request. Like, and this is what's killing me about this whole situation. How much money does John Tory need? You get Wi-Fi bills, cable. You got my taxes.
Doesn't he work for Rogers?
He's still working for Rogers. Like, how much money you need
You
to
work for
retire,
Rogers.
homie?
You
Wait,
don't need money.
What do you mean he works for Roger?
Oh, you didn't know.
I don't know anything about this man for real.
He's on the
okay?
board.
So
Yeah.
Because that's not a
paid.
conflict of interest. It's not a,
Yeah.
it's not illegal or
Fucking
anything to.
Rogers at that, you know, like
It's not even like it's a Freedom Mobile. Like,
And I
if it was a Freedom Mobile, I think we'd be like, all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Times are rough out here.
No, and that's the thing. Like, John Tory's hand is in everything. John Tory used to sit on the board of Metro Groceries. John Tory used to sit on the board of the airliners. John Tory's hand is in everything. And it's like, bro,
Everything that's failing.
yeah, like, that's such a
Gross.
stunning...
Coincidence? I think not.
he needs to be booted ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, his whole track record is robbing poor people.
Mm.
No.
Like, I take personal offense to that as a poor person. Like,
Facts.
yo,
Facts. Listen, I'm the leader of the PBPA, Poor Black People Association, and I have been sick for years. I threw up. It's been a lot. I don't know where we go. Like, if he stays, what happens if he's like, I'm not resigning?
Oh, then we just
Can
turn
we
him-
kick him out?
Well, this is the thing about John Tory. Like, he needs attention to survive. So we give him all the attention he wants. We turn him into a social pariah. We put up missing posters of John Tory.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
So we're gonna have to shame him out of office.
Yes.
If he decides to stay.
Yes. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people take for granted. Like, these are regular people. Make it impossible.
Make it hard.
Yeah, make it impossible for them to eat a meal in peace. You're going to work from home. You're going to eat from home. You're going to
Facts.
use these tax dollars, and unless you get better, get acquainted
Because
with
you
your
take
wife.
away all of his
Should've been
little
doing that.
fun things he gets to do with the public
Yeah.
all the time
Oh,
and
yeah.
look like the good guy. And that's the other thing too. Is like I hate seeing y'all pander when these politicians pull up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because niggas in a suit, you see them on Global, you're like, ah,
Oh
hey
my
buddy, shake hands. I
gosh.
want to shake hands. Let me take a selfie. No, these people are robbing you and smiling in your face.
Yeah.
Like it's insulting.
And that's the thing I want people to wake up to. Like, how are you going to come to my neighborhood that you've historically underfunded and shake my hand?
And dance in a dashiki.
And-
that
and-
nigga is brazen.
Yeah.
Did you see that video?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like our communities will just be like, oh my gosh, it's this. Like they're so, the older folks are so not into trying something new.
I saw
You know, they
someone
like
post
they
a
won't.
sad
They'll be
thing.
like, "Oh no, I can't." Even though she's like smart and she's like saying everything that needs to be done, I can't. I need to just trust what's
Afraid of
already been
change.
doing, or like nothing's actually gonna change. You know, that's what we hear all the time about Justin Trudeau. We have to vote for him because if we vote for any of the smaller, like nothing's gonna happen. Well,
a lot of them
if you keep
came here.
voting, and of course nothing's gonna happen.
A lot of them, especially us with immigrant parents,
Yeah.
they're just so grateful
Yeah.
to have come here, and they've seen so much worse that a lot of times just like, well, like, yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but
Yeah.
if you have you been to, you know what I mean? Like, what do they call it? I can't remember what it's called. Where
It's
they
called
associate.
trauma bonding, bro.
It's trauma
Yeah.
where they're associating one situation with the other and
Yeah. saying,
oh, this one's okay, even though I'm not happy because it's better than this situation.
Yeah.
No, you should strive for ultimate happiness and peace. So it's like, no matter what, you should never be complacent and just like
Yeah.
settle for
Yeah.
just okay treatment
Exactly.
just because it's better than where you came from. Like,
it literally takes
the
numbers.
message. The message.
it's so insane. It's mind boggling to me that people are okay with that.
Yeah.
And at the same time complaining every day. You can't have both. You
Yeah.
got to decide to do something about it or
We're-
not.
They'll be on the bus complaining about
About-
not being able to afford the bus and having to go to work every day because they can't afford groceries.
And
or
then
the
don't
rent.
vote.
Yeah.
But then don't vote or vote for
some- the usual
that doesn't
person.
make sense.
And that's the thing is like, I want more people to put pressure on the government. Like they want a popularity contest and they have won $200,000. That's wild to me. Like I took out a student loan so popularity wouldn't determine my outcomes.
Facts.
So it's like every day we should be like scheduling a call. Just be like, yo, I want you to know I'm watching you. I will see you in the neighborhood.
Yep.
And these are my demands. If you haven't met them by a certain date, like expect my face.
And is there a number people can call to talk directly to these people?
Call your counselor, like show up at their office. Like that's actually how I started in politics. Like if I ask you something, I call you, I email you, my next step is I'm pulling up. Like I don't care
Do
about
enough
your
people
schedule.
do that? Do you see people
Oh,
do that a
definitely
lot?
not.
No.
No?
And that like one of the problems is like all of us are working 2-3 jobs.
So there's not
Mm.
even time because it doesn't. When does
Yeah.
the office close?
The offices are closed 9 to 5, but this is where
Yeah.
social media comes in. Like destroy their inbox,
Mm.
destroy their like. If you leave me 1,000 calls and I'm a constituent assistant,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stressed. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And I gotta tell the politician because now 1,000 people are looking for them.
Yeah.
So this is where like applying social media strategically is like the question of our generation.
Yeah.
Because it's like these are people like consider the average politician is like 50, 60 years old. If you can get 1,000 people to shame them every day, like they're gonna have to do something. You know what I
Eventually,
mean?
yeah.
And that's the thing, like our generation reacts to shame in a much different way than other generations. And this is where research becomes important because it's like I want to use the same tactics with a young MP that I use with an older MP.
Yeah.
And knowing your audience is one of the reasons why I was successful. I wasn't talking to homeowners or rich people. I was talking to working class.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like I don't think enough of us identify as being working class openly because like we live in this culture where it's like, yo, you're hustling, you're working at 9 to 5, you're a bum. Excuse me? I'm not in jail, homie.
Yeah.
Like,
That's our life. We have to.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we as young people, like 20, 30, 40, it's like we have to come together on like across platforms and be like, yo, what is it that we want and who do we have to pressure to get it? Because ultimately, if I don't punch in those 8 hours of work, your idea means nothing. And we need to break out of this culture of hero worship where it's like you got Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos flexing like they're punching in hours. If 8,000 people don't go to work for 8 hours, you have nothing.
Facts.
So like treat the people properly or like, you know, eat the rich. Like that's what it's coming down to for me. Cause it's like, how much more time should I have to give you to act right? My parents don't repeat themselves. Like
Facts.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that's killing me about these politicians. It's like, yo, are you waiting for violence? Because a lot of this could be solved if you were working
They're
smarter.
calling us pussy.
Yeah. And,
It's not they don't think
my
we're gonna
face.
get violent. They're
And
calling
now
us
I'm
pussy.
thinking like maybe that's why there's so many riots and shit like that in
Yeah.
the States because
Well, not even in the States. In the States,
it's not even as
Europe.
but in Europe. It's
Go to
even
Europe
worse.
and see when they need some policy changes.
France?
Over. It's over.
Oh, France don't
The
play.
whole place
I
is
heard
done.
France don't play about nothing.
Yeah.
All
Whenever
the
they try to,
benefits.
you know how many times different European countries have tried to repeal like free education,
Yeah.
and the amount of times students have said, "Are you crazy?" Showed up to the front door.
Yo, even Montreal.
They don't play.
I was in Montreal for the student protest, and it's like people don't realize Montreal has one of the best SWAT responses in the world because of how Montreal people are like will go to the streets.
They don't play.
Burn down things. Like
Yeah.
Vancouver was joking with like, oh, the Canucks lost.
The G20 summit
Yeah.
here too. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like people like in Canada, we could learn so much from the francophones and the way that they organize because it's like think about the fact that they will die to defend French. Like
Touché.
it's one of the strangest things that happen in politics, but they get everything they want.
Well, they can learn from us too. They need more seasoning. I feel like francophone food is
honestly,
al
French-
dente. You know what I mean?
well, this is where like Toronto is like it's lacking because like francophone Africa, like francophone Arab countries, we could be a hub for all these things.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they want boiled food. They don't want any seasoning. Like
They don't want hijabs at work. It's just a
yo,
lot.
Like
It's just a lot.
It's wild to me that it's like, oh, diversity is our strength, but like not that much diversity. Like,
I thought all of Montreal was a problem until I went there and started like doing comedy there, and I'm like, oh, it's not the English.
nah.
We are good.
Yeah.
we're fine. We're accepting. It's everybody else that's kind of like,
And-
yeah, it's just a lot.
Well, that's the thing. It's like one of the reasons I wanted to run for mayor is to like remind so many of us that like all of this is because of us. You think people come here for John Tory? No.
Come on.
Like,
I talk about this all the time. man.
Yeah, they come here because of the way that we live. There is no place on earth where so many diverse people are just like, yo, we don't need violence. You know what I mean? And that's worth protecting.
Yeah.
That's the hill that I'm gonna die on. And I've thought about leaving Toronto. Like I always have like my visa passport just in the corner of my mind. Like
Yeah.
I'm leaving. But when I think about how this place has nourished me, the types of events I go to, shout out to Cozy because like I love Cozy events.
But Rebecca.
And that's the thing. Like, how can I leave so many people that do so good by me?
I'm not going anywhere. Alberta, you can keep calling.
Yo, for
I'm
real.
not picking up the phone. This is crazy. Like, this is my city. This is my home. Everywhere I go, I feel strange.
Yeah.
Everywhere else I go, I feel strange. I don't care if it's just a couple of days or whatever that I'm there, so that's why I'm not used to it. I feel like even if I was there for a long time, I know too much about here now. Like, if I didn't know what was going on in here, then I would not, you know what I mean? I have too much fun. I can't speak for everybody,
Yeah.
but I have a lot of fun in this city when it's
when it's popping.
Not
When it's
cold.
popping, when it's
Not
doing
when
well.
it's cold.
When not when the construction is dealing like is there anything the government can do about construction?
Yeah, man, they could solve the labor shortage by actually treating construction workers well.
Mm.
One of the biggest issues in construction is that that industry hasn't evolved its practice. They still treat people like their bodies for disposal.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's all this technology that could be reducing the amount of repetitive labor they have to do to get things done.
Do they have a union?
They all have unions. The problem isn't the unions. It's like the government doesn't invest in technology. They invest on getting more bodies on site. And this is where the fine policy points come in, because it's like, it's not like technology can replace everybody. It's there as a tool.
Yeah.
But if you're investing in just throwing more bodies at the problem versus addressing the process,
Yeah.
that is where you'll have like this type of stagnation. And
Yeah.
that's the problem with Canada. When we have something good, we don't invest. Look at BlackBerry. BlackBerry could have been our Apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the government was just like, I'm not sure about throwing money at it. Let another
They
country
take
do it.
no risks in any sector
Nah.
whatsoever. And it's a lot of it isn't even risks. Like it's literally something that's a proven concept in so many other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And yet here we just can't get it done. There's so many little inconveniences in the city that can be solved by the government that I feel would be a snowball effect of joy.
Oh my God.
Like if you just focused on construction for a month and a half.
Yo,
Just a
honestly,
month and a half. Overnights,
Yo.
not in the daytime when people are actually going to work. Overnights like they're doing in China. You see when that bridge collapsed and they fixed it in a night?
Yeah.
There's no reason that can't happen here. People aren't dumber. People aren't idiots. Like these things can be done. It's the concerted effort that needs to be put in. Because if you get rid of all the construction, not all of it, obviously, because something's always going to need fixing, but most of it,
like the
some of
road
it, you go and
construction.
there's pylons just there for days. And you're like, I haven't seen anybody here for days.
Oh my God.
Why is this? And there's nothing. That part of the road there's nothing even wrong with it.
Yeah,
Yo.
It's just locked
sitting.
off.
Yeah. And that's Union Station. Union Station is one of those projects where it's like,
It took forever.
It's still going.
taking forever.
It's
I'm
still
like, yo,
going.
how do I not know how to use this place? I
It's very
live in this
confusing, yeah.
country. And that's the thing, like, that's the thing about government. It's like they are not only risk averse, they are opposed to any idea that's not theirs. And it's not even like public servants like me, it's elected officials. If they're not the ones being like, yes, I figured this out, they don't want it in front of the public because they're so clout obsessed.
Wow, we have to do Inception. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So we have to make them think that they came up with the idea.
That's my
Right.
job.
Wow, it's just like
Honestly-
girlfriends. It's crazy. That's
Yo.
crazy.
And it's
super
really like
wild.
that.
You gotta let them think that they came up with because it's not gonna ever be the best plan.
Mhm.
It'll be an all right plan. It's not gonna be the best plan unless they came up with it.
Yeah, man, it's breadcrumbs. It's like you like this? You just
Facts.
you gotta lead them to it. And I'm not gonna lie, like it's one of the frustrating parts of my job because it's like I'm supposed to be the novice and the rookie out here. I'm looking at you for guidance, and it's like your best plan is the thing that you did in 1974.
Yeah.
Like, come on, buddy. Like
I feel like
it's-
that's in a lot of industries too.
yeah, and
a
that's
lot.
Think about it.
Right?
Yeah, like there's so many junior, maybe not the lowest position, but like maybe a mid-level position that
Yeah.
needs to guide the bosses and the higher ups to make the decision and
That
make
signed
shit
that
happen.
one guy one time a long time ago.
yeah.
Like that's the most frustrating thing is the
Like,
egos that you have to deal with.
I just
in
think
these-
about working in social media when it wasn't what it is right now. So back in like 2014, and how much we had to over explain what was happening and like constantly fight for a little bit of money to even put into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they're just throwing dollars at it. Like everybody's marketing plan is just like, go to social media. They forget about everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
But back in 2014, like we were like, yo, this could work. Like you could be at the forefront. You know what I
It's like
mean? And now
Blockbuster.
they're like, oh,
It's like Blockbuster and Netflix.
They're
When
like, why are
Netflix-
we behind? Because you didn't want to put those dollars before,
Netflix went up
and
to
you didn't want
Blockbuster
to
and
trust
did the
those
same
people.
thing.
Yeah.
Skype.
And Skype.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't even want to
Skype
talk about
fumbled
Skype.
that bag.
They try to be
Could've
MSN
been.
when they should have just been a one-stop shop for
Yeah.
video. Just a
Yeah.
one-stop shop. That's it. They did too much.
Mhm.
I remember they started changing ringtones and giving people statuses. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out on Skype.
Yeah. Well, like honestly, if you think about Music City,
Mm.
Music City is one of those initiatives that John Tory pushed that like I had hope for. You know what I mean? Because like there was so much energy coming out of the city in like 2015, 2016. 2016 was a good summer.
Oh,
Such a
I
good
always say
summer.
it's the peak of humanity. Just in every
Yo.
sector. You talk about sports. Wasn't that the comeback from 3-1 for Cleveland? That was the year. You had music, insane, from
Yeah.
all the top artists. Like, it was just the
Mhm.
summer felt, everybody remembers that summer for some reason.
Mm.
2016 was just it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's where the money should have been going to keep that alive.
Mm.
And this is where like even Caravana, it's like, yo, why isn't there like a fashion incubator for mass outfits? You
This
know what
is
I mean?
this has been plaguing my mind for years. I'm like, why are people in factories the night before
Still trying to make all
gluing glitter stars onto bikinis? This is a lot.
Yo.
That's insane. Like, and the government knows how much money this brings in.
Yeah.
Every year.
And they even all gave Scotiabank the parade.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yet there's still no process. There's no factory. There's no jobs that can be created for this for what? Like a annual what is it? You
They
could do
They could have a whole like a yearly.
Yeah.
No, I'm
job.
thinking when they
could have
start.
a full-time job.
what do you mean for like full year round?
Yeah, they could.
Could.
I'm sure there's other things that they can like
Do throughout the year.
Yeah, that's
keep promoting
Caravana
it, yeah.
related.
True.
And that's the thing. It's like the government does not invest in soft infrastructure, the social networks that allow all this to happen.
Mm.
And that means operational funding as opposed to project funding.
Mm.
That's the sustainability piece that's missing from a lot of arts organizations. And this is where like Music City could have brought all that together to be like, okay, guys, we're going to set up a venue trust, which means like for every new music venue that comes up, the model for business is that a third of the profits go to artists, a third of the profits go to the residents, and a third of the profit goes to the business.
Yeah.
And with that shared model, artists could be, you know, leveraging money towards building new buildings. They could be using it for professional development. They could be using it to, you know,
You kill two
subsidize
birds, one
tourism.
stone with that because
Yeah.
you're helping fund the arts at the same
Mhm.
time as especially keeping venues alive.
Yeah.
Look how many venues we've lost since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Scooters is gone now. It's about to be condos.
Yo.
We just lost a Hoxton,
Mhm.
or what do they call it? Love Child.
Love
Child
Social.
Social.
Yeah.
We just lost. There's so much. Even just Queen Street. Looking at Queen Street with the dispensaries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, where are all the identity of this city through the different venues and the different shops and
Mhm.
different things that made it unique and gave it a personality are all gone.
Yeah.
I remember one time my friend tweeted, Customatic, he tweeted that we're not going to have any history in like 50 years, even like not even 100 years, 50 years. We're going to just be condos on condos on condos. Like that's going to
Yeah.
be our culture.
We're losing individuality.
Compared to like all these other
Yes.
places, like you go to like me going to Spain, like
Mm,
you walk around those streets and
culture.
those buildings have history and they have meaning and
Yeah.
they date back to forever ago. You know what I mean? And people travel around the world to go and just look at these buildings. Like
Yeah.
Some
so
things
many
are
people
more
are
than
just
money.
walking the streets just to look at how the building was made and
Yeah.
like what the artist did. And we don't have that at all here. It's ridiculous.
And
Look
that-
at us
don't
just talking
understand.
about the dance crews with
Oh, yeah.
Basement Gang last week.
Yeah, and they had
Like,
no clue.
They
which
had
is
no
funny.
clue. And that
They
is
had no
something
clue
that,
that like dance crews even existed here, and like
Wow.
that they went to the same high school as like
As
some of the
dancers.
major dancers
and
that
you know
we
what I
had
mean?
in the
Something like
GTA.
that
Mhm.
gave this city an identity, gave it something like that was different from other places, and
Mhm.
none of it was funded.
Yeah.
We still had to come up with our own money. People had to fund their own shows, Zone 1 nightclub and all these other places. Like
Yeah, man.
it,
And then it got destroyed.
and then it got destroyed, and now there's no traces of it.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, what do what are kids today gonna tell kids later on about Toronto?
Yeah.
Like, what is the thing to say?
That's like one of my biggest concerns. It's like, yo, even if I had children, would I even raise them here? And
Like-
that bothers me.
Like, what's
because
the
it's
life?
Like, yeah, and Toronto's a work city. What do we actually do here for fun sometimes? Like, don't get me wrong, there's little events that go on, but it's like, I can't think of a major festival that I identify with Toronto. I can't think of like a major nightclub that I identify with Toronto. Germany has the Bergheim, where like techno happens and people travel for that. You know what I mean? What am I traveling to Toronto for?
Except for Caravana.
Yeah,
Like,
and
we
even
used to
that's
have
getting
even
hijacked.
Government used to be
yeah,
the spot
same.
where you could be like, government,
We used to
any
have
night,
that.
government, go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You had that spot. You go to different cities and they have all these mainstays. When someone comes to the city and they ask me what's going on, I have to really
They'd be
look
like, "I
and
don't know."
search.
Yeah.
I have to ask around. First, I don't know. And then I have to ask and search around to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on, unless it's summertime when
Mm.
there's too much going on. Because we have that little pocket of time.
Yo, from June to August is insanity.
It's like you have to pick and choose between
Yeah.
what to go to, and sometimes you pick the wrong event.
And it's messed up to me because it's like we have the Woodbine Casino right by the airport. You can't turn that into some type of Vegas. You can't turn the waterfront into some type of like 365 lakeshore adventure. Like, put a sauna out there. Put
Show some
like,
effort.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Stand up. Like,
For real.
honestly, and that's why like I get frustrated with government, like even Toronto, because I'm like, yo, are you suffering from Stockholm syndrome? Do you need to be liberated?
No, we all are.
Yeah.
We all are.
And that's the thing, like, yo, if we're friends and I know your partner's abusing you, if I don't tell you to leave, like, what type
What
of
am I
friend
doing?
am I?
Yeah.
And that's what the election was for me. It's like, yo, friend, dump his ass. Dump her ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Get rid of the waste.
Yeah.
Because all of council's waste YUTE. Like,
Yeah.
if I
We
have
know
to be
it.
honest,
We know it. It
And-
just seems like an insurmountable problem. Like,
it
for a lot of
seems
people,
like
it seems like such a helpless issue.
yeah.
They've known it their whole life. They've been lied to their whole life by politicians. So
Mhm.
they don't think that anybody they vote in is going to do anything for them. They don't watch the news because the news is just fear-based and everything you're seeing on there is just depressing. So
Yeah.
I know my generation, we barely watch the news. If we get
Just
news,
that I
it's,
don't.
it's
I watch
on-
it at the nail salon.
That's it. You're at a store
That's
and
when
it
I
has
see it. It
CP24 is
keeps
on in the
going.
corner. You're like, oh, okay. You start reading some shit. You're like, this is
Yeah.
why I don't watch CP24.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just nonstop, the cycle of getting away from the information
Mm-hmm.
and they're only plugging it in those places.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about election time, you're not hearing about the election too much on Twitter or
Yeah.
Instagram on a daily. You're only going to hear it if you're plugged into those certain
Yeah.
networks. But it's not like back in the day where we would all watch the news. We'd all know what was going on in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just so depressing. It's so debilitating. It feels
Yeah.
like more effort
You can't
on
take
top
the
of the strength you don't have already.
because
Yeah.
you're gonna be attacked.
You know what I
sure.
mean? Can't even do that.
Man, like,
that's what,
The pandemic had people like accusing me of belonging to like some worldwide conspiracy. I'm like, bro, I can't even pay my student loans
Oh
right
no,
now.
they put you on the you
Yeah.
are the
They-
what was it the 5G towers? You were doing the
Oh,
5G towers?
Apparently
That was you?
so.
That was you? Oh shit! Not the Jamaican 5G towers.
I'm trying to get BlackBerry back, guys. I'm trying to bring back BlackBerry.
Oh man.
But and that's the thing. It's like people don't even understand the roles in government.
Mm.
Like people think that, oh, like you're a policy analyst, so you must be an auditor. And it's like auditing is a part of my job, but that's not what I do. I'm not I'm not CRA.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And this is where government systems, they can be a little confusing if you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help more people understand, like, all you really need to do is go full Karen. I want to talk to your manager. I want to talk to the legal department.
Mhm.
Threaten some people. Like, threaten them within ethical reasoning, because it's like, it's your money.
Mhm.
Treat those people like it's your accountant, like it's your lawyer, like it's people that manage your money.
Facts.
Fuck your children.
Yo,
There's some people that treat like their children worse than what they would treat
People-
somebody.
The
who
access.
They don't
It's
even
the
really
access.
know, you know?
people hold their children to higher standards than
Yeah, the
government.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that shocks me. Like, the way my parents would test me, it's like, I want to see you test your government that way. But,
Facts.
oh, do I know how to pay taxes? am I doing the right thing? Do you ask the person you elected that? And this is where follow-up becomes important, because it's like once the election's done, the hype of it fades. This is how they're able to get away with so much damage, because it's like, who's checking in? You know?
A lot of people are like conspiracy driven as well, though. So it's like, especially with immigrants, they have all types of theories about what's happening, what's not happening, what would happen if you did this and that. Like, I know so many people who think if they were to complain to the government now would be watching them. It's a lot of main character syndrome that happens in the immigrant world, where it's like they think that there's a hyper focus on them because they said something, and that they'll now be under heavy scrutiny by some entity or force. Or it's the same people who didn't want to put their thumbprint on the iPhone back in the day, and now they're all put their face on it.
Even
so
the
like,
mask, the mask thing. It's like, oh, the government's trying to force me to take vaccines. You've been getting vaccines
like
all your life.
Like
it was never a problem before.
The government's been tracking you. What do you think?
Do you want to go outside or not?
Yeah, like and that's the thing.
It's just that simple. You want to go outside?
And that's the thing that like bothers me. It's like, yo, if you're gonna fight me, make sure that like you know what you're fighting me for.
Yeah.
Because you should be fighting your elected official.
Listen, I'm gonna tell these anti-vax people this right now. I better see 10 million people die in the next year or so. Because y'all were yelling, crying, sweating, all type of moisture was leaving your body. And I've seen a couple strokes here and there. That happens anyways. So I don't know. It's like,
anytime,
if there were no strokes before COVID, I'd get it. But
I just remember that with Tristan Thompson's mom dying, somebody was like, "Oh, because she got the vaccine."
Yeah.
And then like a couple of one of the NFL players, he died from something that had to do with his heart, and they're like, "Oh, it's the vaccine." And
same
I'm
thing with
just
the guy
like,
that lived.
Yeah,
Same thing with the guy that lived. They say he's a clone now.
Yeah.
They say it's not even really him. I'm like, y'all will
It's
do
like,
anything,
okay,
but take accountability.
I
This
was
is
like,
crazy.
or like, they could just have a history of health issues.
Listen,
and it just catches up to you.
Things happen.
Like,
outside of COVID and vaccines, things happen.
Yeah.
And this is where like all of us need to check each other like regularly, because during the pandemic I was like, yo, you have these beliefs,
so many people you knew, and you're like, okay, you've always been that tinfoil a little bit, but this is
like,
Yo,
you're doing a lot now.
Some of my family members, I'm just like, all right.
Most of my family members,
I was like, you can just
anyone
continue
over
to stay
40
over there.
lost.
The
No,
WhatsApp
they
was
weren't even,
burning.
Like, some of the younger ones.
I was like, Mom, is this because I didn't send the chain message to 7 people? Is this why this is happening?
I didn't forward the email.
I didn't forward the email to 7 people. Is this the bad luck? Yeah,
Man.
no, it's crazy. Speaking of crazy, the Toronto police just launched a podcast
Oh yeah.
Wait.
that costs $330,000.
So why don't they use that money to fund Toronto podcasts?
Better question: what podcasts cost $330,000 to record?
I mean, ours could cost $330,000.
I
if
wish
they
it
wanted-
would. I wish it would. That would last us 7 years in podcasting. We would be all right. What is $330,000 going to?
Yo,
Propaganda?
I'm
This is giving Chinese Democratic Party. This is
and that's the thing. It's like, I know we need police because like there's serial killers and all sorts of nonsense out there. But like, why are you trying to make content? That is not your job.
Yeah, I'm really
you
confused.
solving
Like,
crimes.
This is
I
their
never
PR.
heard of this yet. So I'm.
it's very new. It's
Yeah.
very new.
So
they have
what-
about 90,000 listeners so far in a city of 2 million.
Yeah.
They're killing shit. They're killing
They have
shit.
90,000.
They have
Listeners.
90,000 listeners,
Yeah.
but like only 200 actively listen.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is
And
where
I guarantee you 70,000 are police.
Okay, but what do they talk about?
Cop shit. Shot a nigga today. Imagine.
For real? No, I'm very
I took
perplexed.
a
on
ball away
this.
from some kids playing in the street today. Oh, really charged me up. I can't imagine. I don't know. What do you talk about as a cop on there? Like cases? What do you
Well,
talk about?
Okay, so like they're using it as a way to like have
Is it a
people
true
stop
crime?
hating them. No, it's like demystifying policing.
It's
and
PR,
like-
yeah.
yeah, and that's what's really wild to me. It's
But
like
that money could be used for something else. because
exactly.
We
People-
don't care.
People are suffering
Like,
from
you
mental
know,
health
we don't
issues.
care.
And these niggas want to talk on a podcast.
And that's honestly, like this is the mismanagement that people are upset about. Like people are upset at the police, but like I'm more upset about the fact that like y'all just keep taking overtime. Like tell me what you need as an organization to be better police. Please stop sending the message to John Tory. Like he clearly does not
How
understand.
many bad apples before you cut down the tree?
For real. And that's the thing, like
is the tree not rotting? Is
No
there not
one's-
something wrong with the tree?
no one's beating up accountants. No one's beating up any other, like, I'm not saying that, like, any other profession is, like, not ethical. Like, there's some deeply unethical stuff that happens in medicine, politics, all that stuff, but, like, no one's beating me up for it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there are mechanisms in place for change. The police, like, don't do a podcast. Come to my neighborhood and let me know that, like, you're walking around instead of, like, in your SWAT car doing the text. Like, I've seen way too many police officers in their patrol car just
sitting
Them
there
love
doing
our,
nothing.
them love our
I'm
school
like,
parking
bro.
lot. Them love our school parking lot. Every school's parking lot in the
Yeah.
suburbs, you see two cops not facing each other. They're facing the opposite way.
Yeah.
So they can still sit in the car and talk.
Oh man, it makes me suspicious. I'm like, yo, this feels like The Wire. Like what? Like, who do I need to call now?
Listen, I've been beat up by the cops, so I know firsthand
Oh.
how ruthless these guys are. They don't care. They
Oh,
really
for
don't
sure.
care. It's like, they
See,
know they
money
get away
should have
with
went to better training then.
it.
It's
Better
not
training
even better
is
training.
no.
It's like they need to separate non-emergency police services from like emergency and public threats.
Mhm.
Like there just needs to be a better way because organized crime is so sophisticated now. The police are not even close. Like these
Mhm.
carjackings, they're a tip of the iceberg. And it's like,
Carjackings,
yo,
extortion, and all type of fuckery. Sorry, I had to get it
No.
off.
no, but it's real though.
Facts.
Like honestly, I'm at this point where it's like, yo, homelessness is wild to me because the answer is in the name of the problem.
Yep.
Like all you gotta
And then
do.
what they do? Vote against it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the police don't need any more money. We could help the police by building housing. Get the police off the street and off the TTC by building housing. You think they want to be working overtime?
There's so many things that can be
Mhm.
alleviated if you just fix certain things. And it's always, for me, it always boils down to the everyday inconveniences that people face.
Yes.
Which the major two are transportation
Mhm.
and food.
Yeah.
If
Mhm.
you deal with transportation and set the city up where the construction is not causing traffic jams,
Yo, like that's
where
the
the
biggest thing.
TTC is not off schedule and
Mhm.
delayed and canceled every 5 seconds, sit down and figure out an actual system. Because
It would alleviate so much stress. Because like I don't even want to go back to my full-time job because I have to go back to office for a few days,
and
and
you're
I
thinking about
don't
the
want
drive.
I don't want to travel
Yeah.
into the city. I don't like. I literally
That's
don't.
such a
I
huge
don't
part
want.
of the day.
It pisses me off having to drive anywhere.
And it's
like,
starting
that's
your
not
day.
up the street.
You're
Yes.
starting your day and you're
Really
driving through
early.
construction that's not constructed.
You're fighting
You're-
people.
you're
you know
fighting
how much
people.
stress like gets added to your life. And like
Exactly.
even when I worked for the radio station and I had to go, I lived in Scarborough, so I had access to the TTC. And I was like, you know what? Let me not drive so I don't have to deal with the parking situation. And
To
let me
even
just take
have
the
to think
TTC.
about that is insane.
And then I take the TTC and it's always late and
Delayed,
it's cancellations.
canceled, yep.
And I have to get off the subway and take a bus in a snowstorm to go somewhere else. And now I'm late for my show. And I'm the one that's getting in trouble. And I'm potentially getting fired because of that.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, I go back to driving. But now I'm fighting with the traffic and I'm fighting with
Gas.
the opportunities to like park. It's not even the gas. It wasn't even the gas. You know, it was like parking. Parking is a
Incremental
headache.
inconveniences
It's
are
so expensive. It's hard to find.
These are the things that lead to more crime and
Oh,
lead to more mental
absolutely.
health issues. Like
Yeah.
the snowball effect is too obvious.
Like let's even look at the loss of like music venue space.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about people are not having babies, where am I going to meet a partner? There's no place for single people to go anymore.
Third places, we talked about this a couple months ago. Third places are becoming less and less of a thing, and they are some of the most important places to have in any city. It's the same reason why COVID people are losing their minds. They don't have their third place.
Yeah.
Work is second place.
then
Home
there's
is
home.
first place. That third place is so important to
Home's not
alleviate
even
that
first
stress.
place.
Yeah.
We spend a lot more time when you're working like a 9 to 5 or beyond. You spend a lot of time
More time
at
at work, yeah.
than you do at home, because when you are home, you're sleeping for
Yeah.
the most part.
But
You
even
spend a
take into
couple of
account
hours getting ready
the
in the
traffic.
morning, at nighttime. Yes.
2 hours on road, you're on the road. You're not even at home yet.
And it's considered that, to me, that's considered working.
That's
If I have to travel
facts.
somewhere,
Facts.
I'm adding it in. Anytime somebody books me to host something and they want to ask me why I'm charging whatever I want to charge, I'll be like, okay, first of all, I have to get out of bed. I have to like get my makeup done, my hair done, outfit, nails. But then I have to travel there.
Yep.
You have to pay for my mileage. You have to pay for my gas. You have to pay for the parking. But you also have to pay for that hour and a half, like maybe depending on what it is, I'd say like an hour to get there and then maybe 30 to 40 minutes to get home, depending. That's 2 hours of my time that I'm taxing you on too,
Yeah.
because what
Those
the
add
fuck?
up.
I'm not sitting there listening
add
to
up.
music for fun.
That's
Like-
12. That's what 10 hours
Yeah.
in the car a
Mhm.
week.
And that's is where like the money is there for transit. They're just not putting it in there. Like, so the Gardner East, they're trying to rebuild that. If there was an option to cancel it, and we could have saved $2 billion. $2 billion that could have gone into TTC, making better sidewalks, making better roads. A lot of people don't take into consideration that when the government decides it's going to build an infrastructure project, like fixing the Gardner, everything else takes a back seat.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Dufferin is one of the worst roads to travel on TTC, because anytime that a government changes, they don't think about the small projects they can do.
Yep.
It's like, nah, man, gonna build this staircase to heaven to meet God.
All ego.
Like,
It's all ego.
Yeah.
yeah, and this is why we need to check them regularly, because it's like, I didn't elect you to go meet God. I am God right now.
Facts.
You need to like figure out what I need and fulfill that, because you could have picked any job in the world, but you chose the one that deals with my money, my mom's money, my grandmother's money,
My daily life.
my daily life. And that's the thing, like, none of us can be happy unless government does something. So government can't function unless I'm happy. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
And this is why, like, all of us.
More bars. Sorry. We didn't get that bag for her. We didn't get the bag? You can leave the bars at the side. We can leave the bars at the side.
But yeah, like, I think about it a lot, and it's like one of the reasons why I fight for this city is because I remember growing up at Islington and Finch. I grew up at Roundtree Manor, and I got up to the top of the building, and I got to look out at the city, and I was like, yo, I want to be a part of this. You know what I mean?
Roundtree is a good view.
Yo,
Roundtree is a really good view.
a lot of people don't
Albion Mall.
realize.
You can see Alibaba's from there. It'll make you inspired.
No,
You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. It's like I grew up in the 90s in public housing, and I will never forget listening to like "If I Rule the World," and like that still runs with me. You know what I mean? And for me to rule the world, it's like my city has to be in shape.
Facts.
So it's like you
Whoa.
can't.
Jesus Christ. Yo, Drake, you cannot take that one. All right, go ahead.
And that's the thing. It's like you got to tell these politicians, like, shape up or ship out. Like, you can't be out here playing games with my life, my success, my dreams like this, you know?
Oh, man.
And that's the thing. It's like my heart goes out to so many like young people of color in this city, because this city wasn't built by the will of politicians. It's built by the will of people to get up and actually commit to this city. And that's a hard feat. That's a hard feat, especially when you see how leadership runs and all that. But the truth is, it's like cities don't run unless people push them. Like, everything that you see in this city was a battle.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Even
Carabana was even a battle.
that's the thing. Like, they didn't want us
didn't
to
want
have
us.
nothing.
Nothing.
And the refusal is what got us it.
Yep.
And that's the thing. You will be standing in shit unless you can start saying, like, yo, I'm standing in shit.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You get used to the smell. Unless you start breaking out of that, you'll be stuck there. And that's what I'm really trying to push people of Toronto to realize. Like, yo, you can spend $200 and stand up outside of Foot Locker and get some shoes, or you can hold your government accountable. You know what I mean? Like, those shoes will still be there. Your life has only so much time in it. And these guys are... Yo, for real, like, these guys are using your time like it's a joke.
Like it's a joke thing, for real.
Yo, and that's the thing. Like, you couldn't do that to me
in front of my face. It's so different because they're behind this whole veil of politician. For sure,
and but you're still a man from Rosedale to me. Facts. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up in Finch with nothing to come up and have what I have and still have nothing. Yeah. That's crazy to me. Yeah. It's disrespectful. And that's the thing. Like, I grew up with people from Jungle, from Kingston, Galloway. Like, they're doing amazing things and they're not getting the credit that they deserve. Yeah. And for that to happen, you have to say enough.
Except for Chicheway. You guys are not doing enough. I'm going to be saying that. God. We don't have enough Chicheway representation in the world. Yo, I don't know anybody from Chicheway.
I don't know one person
that's accomplished things. Anyways,
man. I lived out on a Jane in Chicheway for a little bit.
Same. We lived in all the same places apparently. Maple, Chicheway, Roundtree.
Yeah, I stick close to where I know I'll be accepted. For real. Facts. And that's the thing. Like, I connect with you on like the price of oxtail because like that to me is one of the
that should be your first.
issues.
Actually, that should be your first. I want to campaign for that. That should be your first.
I will look into
that.
He'll
do all the free promo just for that.
You just gotta look into the
I mean,
details.
he's been doing it, so.
I mean, I've been campaigning for a while.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Your future mayor, ladies and gentlemen. Your future mayor, Chloe Brown.
Thank you.
Appreciate you so much. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
Yes,
man.
thank you.
Let's get a picture. Chloe Brown to blood clot. What a woman, right? How you feel about her, Patrick? You attracted to her? Well, yeah. Patrick, yeah. Yes, that's one fine piece of chocolate right there. Oh man, yeah, no, she was great.
Maybe if she marries a white man, she'll get the vote she needs.
Ooh, Patty. Is Patty the man? Is he the answer?
On Valentine's Day?
Jeez! What a love story. You guys met on Valentine's Day? Oh, man. That's wild. That's wild. That is super wild. Yo, if I see Patrick in a campaign video, I'm gonna die. Yo, that'd be too funny. Oh, man. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
How'd you feel? Who are you going for?
About the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
like
who are you going for?
Or Rihanna?
You were going for Rihanna. Okay. I was going for the Eagles.
I mean, well, like, Ezzy's brother is a Eagles fan, so obviously I would rather him be happy because it was his birthday weekend and he did like a birthday Super Bowl party.
Sick.
So, you know, it would have been great if they won, but he blames me because he said I wore green. And the last time that I wore green while they played, they lost against the Washington Commanders.
That. He really internalized that moment.
Yeah. He was like, "You're never wearing green again." I'm like, yes, I am.
I think he thinks he probably thought you were attracted to Jalen Hurts. That's all it was. That's all the women on my timeline that had no idea what football was and were just waiting for
1998. Like, that's disgusting.
She looked it up.
No, I didn't look it up.
She looked it up. You heard that, right? She knows the exact year. How you know?
I didn't look it up.
How you know?
It was on somebody, like, they were lusting over him. And
Somebody.
you read, no, it wasn't me. They were on
It was a
Twitter.
group chat, man.
No, it was on Twitter. And I looked at the comments and somebody was like, I retract all my comments because I just seen that he was born in 1998.
What does that mean, though? Age ain't nothing but a number.
It is.
You don't want a young stallion?
No.
Ladies don't want a young stallion?
I'm okay. I have a cutoff, you know?
You got a man. That's your cutoff.
I guess.
I got a cutoff. I guess. Sure. Yeah, man. It was a great game. It was actually a really good game.
It was so close.
It was really close
The whole time, which is always great.
It ended very anticlimactic, though. I hated the ending.
Until I seen somebody post a tweet saying that they said Patrick Mahomes tested positive for whatever, and that the NFL is going to investigate. I don't know how true that is, but it sounded like when Tom Brady, the ball.
Hey, don't you
thing.
dare besmirch that good man's name. We will not talk about any deflating balls here.
Yeah.
Deflate gate.
As you will hate me.
Oh, he loves Tom Brady?
Yes.
Tom Brady.
He wore a Patriots jersey, his Patriots jersey on Sunday at the
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Right?
He hasn't even been on that team in years.
I
That's
know.
crazy. Yeah, no, Tom Brady, the GOAT, going out sad.
Yeah.
Nigga taking Speedo pics.
Oh yeah.
you
he
see
took
that?
a thirst trap.
Nigga put a thirst trap.
He's like,
I was like, no, my GOAT.
My ex is doing it. Why can't I?
Listen.
He's trying to get his his things
Nah,
back
that was
up.
a whole signal. That was a whole signal. It's not for his girl. It's not for his wife.
No, I know. He's trying to get his things back up.
Yeah, he's
His roster.
That picture screamed bitchless though. That was like a bitchless pose.
That's what they most
He hid the nuts and shit.
mostly like when they do that type of stuff. That usually means that they don't really have bitches.
Damn.
Like the niggas that be sending the penis pictures, it usually means that like they don't have anybody.
God damn. Not my GOAT. Could never. Could never.
Yeah.
That is wild. Tom Brady, we will pray for you.
But the Travis and what's his name? Jason? Kelce?
Oh yeah, the brothers.
Their mom had a very eventful week.
I mean, it's very interesting that they sound nothing alike. And
Okay,
Travis
so-
sounds mighty niggerish.
So
Mighty niggerish.
he was asked that before.
Mm.
He was like, "How come you guys seem so different?" And he said it was because my brother played hockey and I grew up playing basketball. That was
I
his
feel like that's
real life
racist
answer.
in itself. I feel like that doesn't really explain anything. What does basketball have to do with sense, sir?
He's just saying.
Don't blacks play hockey?
That's
Jerome
why
McGinley,
that's why
Anson
he's
Carter.
got the swag and his brother doesn't because he grew up playing hockey.
So is he calling PK Subban swagless?
Yes.
Well, that's probably true.
He wasn't a good one to choose.
No? No swag for PK?
Not really.
No?
Nope.
No sauce?
No.
No black people? He puts on for black people.
No, I'm not saying
y'all
that he
ain't gonna-
doesn't.
Not too much on PK now.
No. He does. He definitely.
Women have been killing the lingo. You guys have been murdering it.
What?
Not too much on. That's my new favorite shit. Not too much on Tom Brady now. Like,
Yeah.
women have been killing the lingo past couple years. I found myself saying it's giving. It's giving. I try to avoid that. I've definitely said T
Yeah.
at various points in my life.
Mm-hmm.
For me is like,
It's
oh,
for me.
they bodied the for me still. You guys
Yeah.
bodied that.
Is it black women or is it the gays?
Not black women appropriating. Well, we don't know gender.
Mm,
Is gender a thing?
I guess not. Allegedly.
Were they non-binary? Who knows? Who
Who
knows,
knows?
man?
Can't
Could've been
make any
asexual.
assumptions anymore.
Asexual and non-binary? What a life.
So I wanted to continue about the Travis thing because you know how he used to date Kayla Nicole.
The girl that they allegedly said would pay half rent and buy
Yeah.
food and groceries
Yeah.
when her man's making hundreds of millions.
Yeah, he would make her at the beginning when they first started dating, allegedly, he would make her go half on everything to prove that she
Wasn't in it for the
wasn't
money?
in it for the money.
That's
And
not.
so somebody posted,
Did he tell her that?
Huh?
Did he tell her that?
he told his people that.
Oh, okay. So she had no idea. That's why she was paying. half.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he did tell her that eventually, but probably not at the beginning.
I mean, I'm paying half until you believe me.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then be like, ha, sucker.
dumbass. Like what?
Yeah, I made her pay half on like everything. But somebody made a comment because he was dripped out in like Louis Vuitton from head to toe.
Oh,
And they're like, oh, so you can be rocking Louis Vuitton from head to toe, but you're the same one that kept that girl in Zara.
Hey, can she run a 40-yard dash in 4.2?
I mean,
I don't think so. I'm just saying. I don't think so. I think Travis Kelce can. I'm just saying. What does she do?
she's a model.
Unemployed.
She did some like acting, hosting work,
Sick.
but you know.
I'm sure she seems like a great girl. Like
Yeah.
from all the videos and little pictures, she seemed to support
She
him
has,
a
like-
lot. She was
yeah.
like all of his games. She would always post game day and stuff. So it's not like, yeah, you could tell she was holding it
They
down.
were together for a very long time too.
Mm.
But in his podcast, he actually said that he used to throw her a couple of $100 here and there. That's what he said
Yo,
on his podcast.
fucking
So it
rate.
came
I
from his
fucking rate it.
from
Honestly.
his mouth.
That is
That's
brazen.
fucking ridiculous.
Holy
Okay, because you're
shit.
Travis motherfucking Kelce. You're making money out the woo-ha.
You're
in all
getting more money
different-
at the Super Bowl when you win it.
like he's making it from all different angles. It's not even the Super Bowl. It's not even him playing. Like because he's so like he's handsome, so he's marketable. He has a good like, you know, personality. I don't know
Yeah.
about behind scenes, but
He doesn't
on
have
camera,
any
he
stains
has
on
it.
his record.
And then even being with her, so many people fell in love with him because he liked black girls.
She
And they
bigged him up.
look like a beautiful couple and what you've seen on social media. So he's very likable. He's making so much fucking money, and you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw that girl a couple of $100 here and there." Like,
Gotta test her out, fam.
nah, bro.
Gotta make sure, you know what I mean?
I understand
That
maybe
pum
if
pum
you had-
loyal.
maybe if you're a rookie and you have that rookie contract still,
I mean,
and you don't be making that much money, especially by the time you get taxed. But you're Travis fucking Kelce.
does she cook?
I don't know behind the scenes like
Shit.
that.
Shit.
I don't know.
What if she can't mash hands?
I don't know. I feel like she could cook though. She seems like pretty down to earth.
Down to earth cooking.
No, but I think she was like like the Southern girls.
Okay.
They like usually know how to cook. You know?
Yeah,
If it was like a
Oh,
LA
she's a Southern girl.
I'm pretty sure she is.
okay.
Yeah.
She probably knows how to throw down then.
I feel like she knows how to cook something. If she's
Yeah.
like from New York, then I'd be like, okay, no.
Yo,
A
New York,
fucking-
y'all heard it from her, not me. Bronx, I love
fucking-
y'all.
A DC girl, like, you know, whose parents work for the government.
Not Chocolate
and-
City. Niggas, she has attacked. I
Yeah,
have
she's
nothing
like
to do
Southern
with this.
and like, you know, in the Midwest. I feel like
Oh my goodness.
you'll know how to cook a little something, something. That's it.
Well, we know one person knows how to cook. And that is ASAP motherfucking Rocky. My goodness. That nigga did not even wait 6 weeks for it to heal. He just got right back.
Well, we
up
don't
in
know
there.
how long
Okay.
she's.
We just, it's funner to do
Okay.
this.
Let's
go with it. Let's go with the funner- funner
Okay.
route.
But they didn't wait very long because by the time she does have a baby, she's gonna have 2 under 2,
mean,
which is fucking ridiculous.
I wouldn't wait either. Shit. You got about 3 weeks.
Mm. Well, I mean, he is a sex addict.
Got about
So
3 weeks till I start asking for some consent verbally.
he's a sex addict, and I feel like she's low key a sex addict. So I'm not really surprised. And
He's a sex addict?
yes, he's admitted it on that documentary where he was high and talking about drugs and shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, he admitted that like he needs a lot of fucking sex.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's not producing the hits. Gotta produce those hits somewhere. You know what I mean?
And I
yeah.
think that's why Chanel Iman couldn't like hang or something like that, because he just wanted sex all the time. And so he
Chanel
was trying-
Iman left him because he gave her too much dick.
Yeah.
That's
no, but I think
insane.
he was like he constantly wanted sex, so it's like harder for him to be faithful with the one person,
Oh.
because if she doesn't have the same sex drive as him,
Then it's over.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never I don't even know what that's like. I've never been with a girl that didn't want to have sex. Like I don't know what that's like. But I'm also like I'm not 2-3 times a day every
Mhm.
day type of person. Like
mm-hmm.
I'm very much comfortable with whatever you want to give me. I'm just grateful. I'm just thankful to be here, honestly.
So that's why it doesn't matter.
I'm just if it happens, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like, baby, come on, just poking you with some hard dick.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's not my style.
Because if it was reverse and there was a woman who wanted it all the time, then you'd probably be like,
I feel like women can't demand that. You guys aren't in a position to
There are
demand
some.
that. You can do what you want. I'm not
Mhm.
saying you can't demand it. I'm just saying you're not gonna get accepted. I turn down pussy a lot. Oh my goodness. I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. You guys don't understand how much mentally goes into that for a man, mentally and physically. The fuck if this even throw out mentally, just physically. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't like women. This is the things I can point out women do. Obviously, the give head, right? That's a thing. Arms, I understand, probably get tired. Jaws get tired, right? But you can stop at any time. There's really no time limit on head. What's your rules for head? Like, if a guy gives you head, you're like, all right, I gotta give him head for the same amount of time? Because that's always what I think in my head. I'm like, damn, I gotta eat pussy for that long. She'd be down there for a minute.
I definitely wouldn't.
No?
No.
How do you gauge it?
Because I also don't think that, like...
How do you gauge what's
depends,
reciprocation?
Because you said, like, you can't come off of head,
Oh,
right?
yeah, no.
Yeah, you've said that before. So it's like some guys can, and it's like you can't go for too long if you actually plan on
Oh, that's crazy.
having
That's crazy.
sex.
You guys are... What a life. You guys are living life? Which one of you guys are living that life? You guys come off head? You don't? You don't? Patty, I know you do, boy. I see Patty look at the other two like, I'm gonna wait for them to answer. Patty nutting off that head, boy. I can't do it. I wish I could. My mind's just not. I think it's because I trained my mind when I was younger that I want to have sex. Like, the girl doesn't want to just suck my dick, and that's it. Like, I gotta give back, pay it forward. So I'm like, I've always thought like reciprocation. I've always thought of it as like a complete balance of things. So like when the girl's giving me head, I'm like, I'm not sitting there with a stopwatch, but I'm just like, okay, I gotta go around like a little bit longer. Like, I'm down there, I'm like, this is a little too quick. You know what I mean? You guys never have that moment when you're eating some pussy? You're just like, no, I've never made a girl come quick. Obviously, nigga, I'm talking about. I'm talking about. Nigga trying to set me up. That was crazy. I'm talking about when you're down there eating pussy. Are you thinking, oh, she sucked my dick for say she sucked your dick for 5 minutes, right? And you've been eating pussy for 2, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to have sex now. But in your head, you're like, oh, she sucked it for 5. Maybe I should stay down a little longer. You guys never think that? Wow. Maybe I'm too considerate to the pussy.
I think that men should give head longer than women, though.
I agree.
Because it takes women longer to be even aroused, and there's so many men that don't do anything else.
I agree.
To even get her.
I agree.
Aroused.
My thing is, once I feel the clit swell up, I'm good to go. I don't know. I don't care how long it takes. Once that thing is swelled up, we ready for action now. But like, because I've seen too many, like, especially when I was younger, like, just putting my dick in and like a girl would bleed or something like that, and it's like, you can't just. I didn't. When I was young, I'm younger. I didn't know any better. I just thought I'd put my dick in, fine. But like, and then when you're younger too, like something like that happens, you're like, yeah, big dick out here, nigga, shit. But it's not a good thing. I don't think any woman's like, yeah, that was a great, memorable experience.
Like traumatizing.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like it is. It could be traumatizing if you're young and you don't understand, and like that's your experience all the time. Is that you're with somebody who
makes you bleed.
Just causes pain.
Yeah.
Why would you necessarily want to continue, or why wouldn't you be hesitant with other partners going forward?
It's touchy because
that's all you know.
It's touchy because there are a lot of women that love pain, like
love
a decent amount of pain.
It's not good
and
pain.
I'm like, what is the pain? I've always been like, what is good about this? Like, if you're in pain, you're in pain. They describe it as good pain. Is there good pain?
I haven't found good pain. Pain is pain, you know?
I don't understand it.
I don't like pain.
Yeah, like I don't understand it. So when I was younger and I used to hear that, I didn't know what it was, like what the answer was, what I needed to do differently, because it's not like just readily apparent to you, right? Yeah. It took a lot of experience and just realizing, how long you guys need to get aroused. Because a lot of times men think it's just, like you're horny already, like. Especially you take off a girl's panties, or you see like the panties are still on, you still see that little dark patch because it's wet. You're like, oh, she ready to go, nigga. Like, and she's not. She's just horny. Like, she's not ready to go. But to us, wetness is like hard dick. It's like, oh, if my dick's hard and she's wet, we're ready to go. When you guys, I think it's like 30 minutes realistically. Women need a foreplay before sex, and honestly, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that every time we're having sex. I can't.
But that's why you can't expect for a woman to like come, you know, and can't hit her climax. If you're not doing that, then you can't be like, after you finish, like, oh, like, did you come? And expect them to be like, if they say yes because they want to lie, then okay, whatever.
I ain't asking that.
But like,
I don't want to know if you're playing me. I don't trust y'all. Y'all been going off about squirt for years. I am determined that is piss. They're finding an excuse to pee on us. I do not. I'm not buying it.
I learned that it was piss a long time ago. So.
This is the thing.
Like
this is what fucked me up.
Piss in water.
The first girl that I made squirt, she's just a squirter, like just nonstop the whole time, and it was clear, odorless, wouldn't smell nothing. Start fucking with other girls. I see yellow. I smell it. I'm like, that's piss, my nigga. Like, these can't be the same thing. And I don't know if there is a difference, if there is one that's not and one that is. Because allegedly it's just seminal fluid that you guys exert. It's seminal fluid. But it's not, obviously, semen. But there's traces of urine in it because it's coming from the same hole. So I'm like, I don't know what to believe, honestly. And I'm not going to be going out here asking so what's that, like.
But I feel like they wouldn't even know, maybe, you know?
I mean, I think they know.
I don't know. I don't know how to do
squirted?
that.
Oh, yeah,
so,
you've never squirted, yeah.
I don't know what it's about. But maybe if you smell it more and it's like more yellow, it's because they don't drink enough water and they don't have a good diet. Because you can pee, the better your diet is and the more water you drink, the lighter your piss is and the less stink.
Women I've been fucking we be smoking backwards and shit before the sex, so it's like the dehydration is definitely set in. That's one thing I'm trying to stop. That's one thing I'm trying to stop is smoking right before sex.
Yeah.
Like, cause it affects everything. Pussy gets drier. You don't smoke, so you don't know. But it's a direct. You put it like it's called pasties. When you smoke and like your mouth is dry or whatever, pussy gets pasties too. It's like, I don't know how it's directly linked, but it is somehow. And so, I try not to do that right before. Like, I smoke afterwards or some shit. But, that stuff, it's just a lot. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. But Rihanna cared nothing about any of that and just continued to ovulate and make babies. And she looks like she's in her, second trimester first? What do you think?
Well, she's definitely in her second trimester if she's announcing.
Well, yeah. I guess it's safe not to announce.
Yeah, I doubt that she was going to tell really early.
Yeah.
So she's probably like 5 months.
How do you feel about the performance?
I think the performance was good. I don't understand. I don't understand why people complain so much, because it's like, you want Beyonce from Rihanna, and Rihanna's not Beyonce.
You think that's what it is?
I think so.
I think they wanted non-pregnant Rihanna from a pregnant Rihanna. That's what I think. I think that they expected that. Remember that one work performance where there's like 100 people on stage bubbling behind her and shit?
But she had 100 marshmallows dancing, and they went the fuck off too.
But she didn't go off like how she went off with that performance. So I think everyone's still comparing her to her old self, and which is really unfair. But I will say, out of all the pregnant performances we've seen over the past couple of years, that is the worst.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Cardi was at, what was it, Rolling Loud? Was it where she performed pregnant? And she was like in her third trimester.
She was like,
and she was on the floor twerking, doing all types of shit, like really going crazy. Serena Williams won what? Wimbledon, was it? She won a whole Grand Slam. Beyonce had a crazy performance, pregnant. Like, we've seen a lot of pregnant greats really kill shit and bring it home. And I feel like it was kind of lackluster. Even for a pregnant person. Like, I feel like there's more that could have been done with her specifically. I loved what they did with the background dancers. Those guys fucking murdered it. Is that what they were?
That's what they're calling themselves.
Was that what they're calling themselves?
They're all on TikTok still wearing the costume so that you know that they are a marshmallow.
I was like, yo, nigga, I'm ripping off my sunglasses. Eh? You guys are going to know it's me.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. I've seen so many theories about this performance. Have you seen any of the conspiracy theories?
What?
Like the satanic stuff?
Oh, of course. My sister sent it to me. Look, it's Illuminati. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the Illuminati talks came. It is very interesting that we are seeing a lot of these, especially top performers, with the all red look and with the white, especially. You got Sam Smith, who just did the devil performance. You had Kendrick, who's done that before. You have The Weeknd with the red suit and with the white mask performers. And this one, I'm not too sure what any of that means. I guess Satan's colors are red traditionally, so everybody's like,
yeah,
well, but it's also Christmas. Like it's first
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. There's so many other red and whites.
Canada,
Switzerland. Like we can keep going, people. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they've always said the Illuminati and stuff like that.
Honestly, it's like the whole car analogy. Like when you get a car and you just start seeing it everywhere. If you're looking for something, you're gonna see.
You're gonna see the signs.
If you're looking for Satan in a performance, you're gonna find it. She was throwing up the diamond. I'm like, yeah, she's
part of Rock Nation.
Rock Nation.
They literally do it all the time.
That's what they all do.
Literally, Beyonce doesn't. She's not even Rock Nation.
They said she threw up a 6 at some point. I'm like,
okay,
all right. One thing she did do is she made sure she pulled out a Fenty appliance.
Absolutely.
And,
she should.
got that marketing out. Fenty going up 800%.
Did it?
Post-performance.
Nice. And they did like a lot of branding.
Oh, yeah.
Like
they did
related.
Amazing branding.
Their marketing was great. There was this one ad where it was like a line of like
the footballs.
White footballs. And then the foundation, it started at the darkest one and it like painted it and it just continued and it continued to go from the darkest shade to the lightest shade.
Yeah.
They went and they I seen some of the influencers, they flew out as like a part of the Fenty brand trip to go to the Super Bowl. They go into their hotel and it's like Fenty'd out. You go into the bathroom and it says like Fenty Beauty on the mirrors and they have like all of the skincare stuff and like some makeup stuff. And then you go into the bedroom area and there's this concealer pillow that says like Fenty and like all these other Fenty pillows and a Fenty blanket and a rug. And they get to keep all of that stuff. Like, so they really went off. And
creators?
Then the one girl that, I think they were big creators.
I wish it was smaller.
Bretman Rock went. There was this one black girl. She doesn't have a huge platform, but she's also like not super small. Sorry, she's actually repped by Kensington Grey, which is Toronto Shay's company here in the city. So it was like a variety, but they were a little bit bigger because I know there was this one white girl who I've seen, and I think she's pretty massive. So they did send out bigger creators, but also you have to remember it's New York Fashion Week, so there was a lot of people that got other partnerships for other makeup. Like there's NARS. NARS did an amazing brand trip to New York, and they had them in a hotel that cost $2,200 a night. Jesus. And they gave them like a full range of like concealers and all that stuff, and they like brought them to clubs and they had them like popping bottles and like doing the most. Dior had some people out like what's it called, Chiesto or something. So many makeup brands in general had a lot of brand trips this weekend in New York, and then on top of that there's like fashion ones and stuff.
Super Bowl stuff. I
you
feel
gotta
like
think about the
she should have
market.
gotten smaller creators because like especially Fenty is such a huge brand. Obviously Rihanna being the face of that brand is huge in itself, where you can create the new wave of huge creators by giving them this trip. You know what I mean? Like if you have, and it doesn't take much to look, you can go through a hashtag and find a couple 15 to 20 people that promote your product and have 2,000 followers or 3,000 followers, but are steady making content, trying to grow, trying to get bigger. You put them on this trip
crazy on TikTok,
especially with the
especially right now.
They're all gonna vlog. They're all gonna do cross-pollinate, collab.
Yeah.
The intertwining
you
of
know
those
what's-
small creators in itself and them being on that trip is gonna get them so much more.
Yeah. You know what's
following.
crazy is that the smaller the followers, the more you get out of them. Because when I was looking at the creators who were invited, Bretman Rock, he did one post. And Bretman is fucking
Huge.
popular.
Yeah.
Like he's
He's been
out of
huge
this
for a long
world.
time too.
out of this world,
Yeah.
right? And he's a great person. I absolutely love his personality. But he only did one TikTok. I don't know what if he did anything on Instagram. I didn't check. But this girl, this black girl who just kept popping up on my feed, I went to her page and she made like 10 TikToks.
Yep.
She doesn't have nearly as much followers as Bretman. She might be in like the 100,000s, like lower 100,000s. And she made a bunch of TikToks. And she got great views, but she promoted the brand way too above and beyond this world because she was so passionate. She was so excited. They brought them to a Drake concert. Like there was real excitement. But then you go to these big creators and it's like, oh, one post. Like, yeah, I'm here just to like say they did it, you know?
Well, it's the payment too, right? Like how much they're getting paid. Whereas the other person needs that exposure so much, it doesn't even matter how much they're getting paid. Because if they were getting paid more,
they want the content.
Exactly. If they're getting paid more, they'd be way more exclusive with their stuff and be like, okay, maybe I should put this out or whatever. And I think that like, I'm losing my train of thought, but it's the whole following thing, especially with a smaller follower count, more loyal, more content you'll get out of it. That's the North Korea approach. Like right now, North Korea is catering to 10% of their population because they're hoping the rest of them die.
Oh, wow.
Because it's way easier to control 10% of people
than the whole
and to get them to be loyal than the amount of people they have right now.
Wow.
So that's why you see so many stories about the starvation and the hunger in North Korea because they want these people to just die out. They give them no food so they can't like fight back.
So then the 10% will procreate and
they will already be indoctrinated.
Mm-hmm.
They'll already be institutionalized. So it's there's something to do with, and it's just like what we were talking about with Chloe, honestly. It's like with a smaller creator, it takes so much less to make them happy that they're so happy for that look that they'll work 10 times harder. Whereas Brett in Rock or whatever, he's so used to these. Like these get thrown at him daily. Sometimes he has to refuse them. It's like it's not that important.
Like he literally
to him.
had a stylist come in and fly him out like a whole outfit just so he could go to the Super Bowl.
Hey man,
you
ain't
know?
tricking if you
and
got it.
then the other girl is like, okay, I went to the NFL store and I bought myself a Super Bowl jacket. Like
and
she
crazy.
was way more into it, you know? So I just feel like, yes, he's like him and all these other creators, they're really into makeup. That's what they started off and built their platform for. But there's other people who are just about the whole experience.
Yeah.
They're interested in going to the Super Bowl and like the culture around that. Like Super Bowl, like sports culture is so much different than New York Fashion Week. That's why a lot of those New York Fashion Week girlies aren't even going to go to the Super Bowl. They don't care.
Yeah.
That's not where their money's going to come from 24/7.
The target audience is
they need to dress up, you know, and look fly and be seen and go to the shows.
And wear those big ass red boots that everybody is wearing for some reason. What the fuck is going on with these boots? You're our fashion resident expert. What the fuck's going on with these boots, man?
You see, red is in. Rihanna said it.
Christ.
Red is in.
So Satan's in.
I guess. Allegedly, that's what the TikTokers be saying.
Oh my goodness. These red boots, man. I just nonstop seeing them. And
like
honestly,
those big one,
big ass boots. First person that wore them was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He wore them to the game with those pants that were like those wavy Supreme pants. I mean, Louis, I think, actually. I actually fucked with the fit. I'm not going to lie to you.
It worked for that.
It worked for that. Because he wasn't showing the whole boot as well. It was like all covering until you got to the bottom part. Everybody just wearing these boots, and I'm like, is this going to be the new trend? Cartoon fashion?
They look like the Cause statues, you know, like the Cause art.
I know, I know exactly what you mean.
That's what it is, whatever. But
it's Astro Boy.
The creator of it is Mischief, and Mischief is the ones that took those Vans and made it wavy. Mischief keeps, like, their name is Mischief for a reason.
But I heard they're not even selling them.
Yeah, they just sent them out to creators. They keep doing shit for people. They sent them out to like big people.
Wait, hold on.
It's just a PR thing.
They are a viral shoe company.
That's all they do.
Mischief is the same one that made that Lil Nas X shoe with the blood in it.
Yes.
Me backside.
This
Who
isn't
is
the first
involved in
time.
that?
I don't know.
We need to find out.
Well, Tyga, when they dropped the Vans, yeah,
Tyga?
when they dropped those wavy Vans or whatever, they said that Tyga has a partnership with them. So he's like that. It's not him. He's not the creator of the company and shit. They just associate it with his celebrity.
So
But
wild.
yeah, the point of Mischief is that they create mischief. They create these shoes that are going to get the people talking. Vans obviously
It's a
sued them for their
distraction
shoes.
company.
They just want to
What
see
are they
trends.
distracting from? This is a distraction company.
I don't
What's
know.
the point of this? If
don't
not
know.
to create a
Nothing.
distraction.
They just want to get the people going. Like
I don't
Coi
like it.
Leray has been seen in them.
Yeah, that's not gonna get me going.
Party. Like there's a bunch of other
A
people.
lot
I've
of people.
seen.
Janelle Monáe shooting hoops in them.
Oh
and
yeah.
shit.
So
I've seen
that's
a lot of people wearing a Diplo courtside.
That's what I'm saying. The company literally, I don't know who owns this company, but they got money and they're like, okay, we're going to send it out to X, Y,
Where-
and Z. And
What are you getting back?
I don't know.
Exactly. It's a distraction. Everything has a purpose. I was talking about this with my barber today. Everything has a purpose and cause, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in philosopher talk lately. I've been killing philosopher TikTok. And man, it's just made me ponder and think about things
Mm-hmm.
that are like impending doom. It's like it's just too much. Like if everything has a cause, we can determine that every single thing has a reason for being here, right? Everything. That means that the universe has to have a reason,
Mm-hmm.
right? There has to be a purpose because everything else has a purpose. Remember when you first found out about cockroaches and maggots and all?
Yeah.
Like, why do we need those?
Like
They do things.
I Googled why skunks exist.
And there's a reason.
Apparently there's a reason.
There's a reason.
I still don't think they need to exist, but there's a reason. There's
I
an
think-
ecosystem, you know?
I think everything, like, if you think about your body and how your body runs, like, my barber's just like, yo, look at how robots, like, men have been trying to make robots for how many decades, and still robots are still moving like this, right?
Mhm.
But us humans, we's fluid. We got rhythm. We got all this stuff. And it's like, how does that happen?
Mhm.
Right? It's everything's cause and effect, cause and effect. So everything that's here is here for a reason because it started from one thing,
Yeah.
right? Now, if it started from one thing, if it existed,
Mhm.
that means something has to be bigger than it. This is
Okay.
why scientists cannot say there's no God. If the universe is a thing, and we can determine that everything in the universe has a purpose,
Mhm.
universe then, therefore, has to have a purpose.
Mhm.
What is the purpose?
I don't know.
Can't fathom it.
I don't know what the fucking purpose of
Time?
life is. Anything like.
So whoever created this
Yeah.
has to be bigger than time and space.
Yeah.
That has to be God.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Like, there's no other explanation. There's nothing anyone can tell me about, like, atheists. What's the argument?
Mhm.
It doesn't make any sense. Something has to. Okay, put it this way. I can't remember what philosopher said it, but he said, "Why is there something and not nothing?"
I don't know.
It's the most profound question I've ever heard in my life.
I
Why
wouldn't
are
have
there
done good in
things
philosophy?
and
so I
you
don't
hated
know.
it?
I wouldn't have. I didn't do it. I would have hated it.
It's amazing to me because that question
I don't
blew
know.
my mind. Why are there things?
Yeah.
Why is there anything? Like, that's wild.
Mhm.
It's fucked up.
I did Google, and the shoes go on sale on the 16th.
The 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there
So they were-
five bills, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're not on sale right now. So that's the point of it. So
But
that
Mischief
they are
is selling
going
them?
to- yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they
Okay.
sent it out to the influencers and all that stuff to get everybody super hype over them. And then they're going to go on sale on the 16th, and we'll see how the sales do.
And they can't be sued this time. I remember Nike was suing them for the Lil Nas X shoes.
Yeah, Nike, then Vans went and sued for the Wave shoes.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know, maybe Cause Kids sue. I feel like he might have trademarks over his
How,
design.
though? But
He can have trademarks over his design.
He can't because that's an Astro Boy boot. Like there's cartoons with those boots, and that's where he got it from. They initially stole it from Mickey Mouse. Like, why hasn't Disney sued Koss yet?
So then maybe Astro Boy will sue them.
I can see the Mickey Mouse gloves coming out. I can see that being a thing, like real gloves. I seen a Marge Simpson heel, a real prototype that someone was wearing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this going to be the new thing now? Cartoon clothes?
Maybe.
That's fucked. That is fucked.
But you know what's crazy is that like everybody made fun of Kanye for wearing those big old boots forever, and now.
And we're still making fun of all these people. We're still making fun of all of them. None of them are cool.
We'll see what happens when the sales, you know?
Well, it's we see what happened with ADIDAS. They're losing billions.
Yeah.
Billions. They've never had a loss. They've never reported a loss.
You know, that's why I think that Ivy Park just did another drop. Park Trail or something like that.
Yeah, I seen that.
And so I went on because I have enough points that I'll get exclusive access before it goes on sale.
Flex. Drip, drip, drip.
Okay. Bought enough Yeezys. I waited a very long time to get to that 4 level, and then they drop Yeezy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Right when I was about to have
it's
exclusive
like
access.
all those air miles and the piercing closes down.
And so I went on, and I'm like, yo, this drop is fucking expensive. Like, Ivy Park was not cheap, but it wasn't as expensive. Like, these jackets are costing $1,000. I'm like, bro, if I'm buying $1,000 jacket, I'm gonna buy
Didn't
like
Beyonce try this one time before?
Gucci shit.
I feel like she tried to do that with House of Darion, like second installment. She tried to jack up the price to be like
House of
Louis
Darion
or some
was
shit.
I don't know about that, but I don't know if it's really her. I think it's ADIDAS.
It was her
because
mom, no, I'm talking
no,
about
for House of Darion.
early days. I'm talking about early days.
I'm not sure about the pricing. Like, I was too young to really even. I knew that
You had a hoodie though.
I did have
I
it.
seen that picture.
Yeah, I did have the hoodie.
Yo, we used to pose so funny.
Yeah.
Our poses were so funny. Like,
my little caption is
like-
"Get right or get left."
oh my god. Yo, we used to have some winners ass captions, bro. Like shit you put in a winner's frame. We used to put on our shit.
So with ADIDAS, it says that regardless of how much money they make, they have to pay Beyonce like $20 million a year. And to do the production and advertising and all that stuff costs a couple $100 million. And they're not even making half of that back from it. So that's why, and then like with the loss of Yeezy, which was hands down running the company for the last 100 years, they're in a deficit. And so when I seen those prices, I was like, yo, they're really trying to bank on the Beehive people.
This is what
coming
happens
through
when you get
and
lazy.
spending that money.
This is what happens when you get lazy. You're watching, you're like, oh, Kanye will do it for us. It's fine. You don't have to try that hard. We'll make some more NMDs.
Yeah.
Like you got to come up with, you got to find a way to innovate. And even through marketing, like Nike has found time and time again, different ways to innovate with marketing. They got the movie dropping now, which is about to turn shit up a whole other notch. Even though Michael Jordan's not going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the person playing Jordan, you'll never see him.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I thought so.
I'm not surprised either because
I don't like you have to.
There's no Michael biopic yet. That's why I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I don't think Michael's gonna sign off on his likeness.
He has to sign off on that.
Yeah, he has to sign off on his likeness, and he hasn't even made his own movie yet. Why would he put a character into someone else's?
Yeah.
Even though I think he did fumble, because if he would have went off the back of this production and say they introduce the Michael, say he's like in the last 10 minutes.
Then they could have spun.
And then they could have spun off into whatever biopic he wants to do. Like that could have been a really dope way of helping promote it with using somebody else's project. But he's known to do this. He was in 2 years of video games. He was in no NBA jams. He would not allow us to be Michael Jordan. Every video game growing up had like a number 23 that was a no-name player. And that was just his rules. And then I think it was 2K17 or 16 when it was like the first Jordan actual game, and it was just like mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I wasn't surprised.
I was
Speaking
gonna,
of MJ,
but I was gonna say that even with Puma like really blows my mind that they're able to continually sign all these people. Like when you think about it, they have a lot of people on their fucking roster. Like, and even in the past, having Rihanna on it, Rihanna's shit did really well. But their whole basketball division, they got Jay-Z's the one who runs
Jay-Z's probably the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, their basketball division, and he has signed so many people. The Mellows do great, like they love it, and they have the rights to like Rick and Morty.
They're
coming
done great
out
in the
this
soccer
weekend.
world as well.
Yeah,
Soccer world, which is a huge
Puma's
part
been
of
around
it.
but like I'm just like, yo, your budget is really crazy. That must mean that people are really buying the shoes. You know what I mean?
You
Like
know
I think like the average consumer who just needs shoes. Like I need a running shoe. I need like, you know, just a simple trainer. They're the ones who are really keeping Puma alive. They have all the best like women athletes. Brianna Stewart, she has her own.
I don't know who that is.
She's a WNBA player,
Well, that's
white
why.
girl. Yeah, she just went to New York Liberty, but she's like amazing.
Oh, that
and
girl.
She has her own first.
They were saying
woman.
it's unfair or something like that. She must be really good, really fire.
Yeah,
She's
she
really
has her
dope.
own like her first woman silhouette for basketball.
That's never happened before?
Not ever.
Wow. They gave it to a white woman. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Because
crazy.
like they've done like
Lisa
partnerships.
Leslie was right there. That's crazy.
Like Nike did partnerships, you know what I mean? Like Maya Moore, but she
not even
didn't-
Cheryl Swoops?
Well, I don't know if it was considered like an actual model from scratch, you know?
Touche.
I'm not sure.
They probably built on previously had silhouettes.
Yeah,
like,
and then like kind of gave it to them and let them do the colorways. But I'm pretty sure they designed her basketball specific sneaker from scratch.
Speaking of no budgets,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were surprised that they don't get paid for the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, you don't,
People don't
get
know that.
a lot.
No,
for
you don't get
sure.
anything. Zero.
Yeah.
You get no money.
Mm.
You have to, and you're paying for it for the most part. I think The Weeknd paid like $7 million for his halftime show, but you get it. Obviously, she's getting it from Apple, and
Yeah,
you
'cause
get the kickback. The Super Bowl bump is
Yeah.
something serious.
Because the percentage of her songs, like
800%, 800%, everything went up.
Like I think Diamonds was like 1,200 or something like that percent.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I've been
people
listening to
don't
Rihanna
understand.
for days.
People don't understand the bump
Impact,
that
yeah.
gives you. Like, it's no matter how big of an artist you are, it's still gonna bump things.
And she's had longevity too.
17 years.
But since she announced that she was going to be at the Super Bowl, she's been releasing products. So
okay, I see what
that
you're saying.
picture of her holding the ball,
yeah.
that's made into a sweater.
Yeah.
They have jerseys.
T-shirts.
They have T-shirts.
Yep.
So ever since like leading up to it, she's been making money.
Making bank, yeah.
You know, they did a dedicated lip gloss for it called Riri.
The with the yards around is so sick. It looks so dope. Like,
Yeah.
The way her team they're geniuses, man.
Oh, I was
They're
gonna say I
geniuses.
seen a TikToker in Australia, and it was 2 black girls, and they did this TikTok like something like, we didn't know that this was an all white party, because they were saying that they were the only 2 black people at the Australian Fenty party. So Fenty threw a party for the Super Bowl to be able to watch the halftime. It looked amazing. Like they literally had a field in the back of a mansion, like with it saying Fenty Bowl and all that stuff. Had all these different makeup artists there to do people's makeups, obviously DJ, all that shit. And the girls were like, we're like the only black girls that
It's
were
Australia.
there. No, Australia has plenty of like Aboriginals. They do.
They don't fuck with them niggas.
What do you mean?
Australia does not fuck with They're Aboriginal people. They're racist to them even more than the black people.
But I think that if Rihanna knew who they invited to that event, that she wouldn't have liked it.
I mean, there's only
Because
so much she can do.
She purposely created this line for black people and other
People of color, yeah.
to be included within the beauty industry that is highly like excluding us, you know? And so I think that she probably would have been really upset with that.
I mean, there's only so much. I'm pretty sure they
I
had
hope she
other
gets-
installations going on other places. Like this, she's doing a halftime show. Like, there's only so much she can herself.
No, I'm just saying
on her
that
team.
I think that if she knew
Yeah.
what happened, then she would probably have a problem. And I really hope that this post continues to like pick up steam so that it could be reported back to her. And so then they can better, adjust. You can't tell me there's no fucking black people in Australia that you couldn't invite them to the thing.
I have no idea. I'm not sure what the Australian influencer market is out there with black people and beauty creators.
Well,
I have no idea.
Apparently there's tons.
Well, hopefully they figure that out.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl halftime show has been like only a thing. Obviously, people think that this has been a thing forever as well. It's only started in 1993.
Oh, wow.
And you know who started it? Michael Jackson.
I was gonna say.
Michael Jackson's the first Super
And
Bowl
was it
halftime show.
Pepsi that?
I think it was like a Pepsi sponsored or some shit like that,
Yeah.
but he bodied it. He bodied that shit. Nigga
Yeah.
started with Jam, went into Black or White, then did Beat It, then did Billie Jean. I'm like, yo, these people are getting a show, fam. And then he ended it with We Are the World, had like 400 children come out and join him on stage. Had the entire audience flip up these things that made giant children in the stands from overhead. And then they're all singing, We Are the World. He's kissing white babies. I'm like, this is insane, bro. This guy's running for president. It was wild. But yeah, man, it's like I'm going to give her grace, obviously, because she's pregnant. And you got to understand, it's their first performance live in front of people in like 7 years, no? Wasn't that like her first performance in 7 years?
She hasn't performed, I don't think, since I don't know about 7. I think she hasn't performed since the 2018 MTV Awards.
It's 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so then 5 years. But even still, to come back from any hiatus and the first place you perform is the Super Bowl, like there's a lot. That's a lot to live up to.
I just don't understand why people were hating. She looked amazing. Her outfit was amazing. You know, we always are praising Rihanna for what she looks like and what she wears. So she nailed that. Her set design was crazy. Like people levitating in the air and dancing on these little flying shelves. She had 100 of these like marshmallows going the fuck off. They were giving it like their whole life. She had a great set, like song selection. I think she picked all the best songs, and I wouldn't have even asked for her to change it at all. And so it's like, I don't really like get, like there's always something with her. People always complain about her performances. I've never seen everybody happy.
I was arguing with somebody at my house about her vocals, and they're like, she can't sing, and I'm like, okay, but she's gotten like much better, like
way better,
so much better than Ponder Replay days. Like if you hear her now, it's night and day.
Absolutely.
And like you got to give people grace and time. Look at The Weeknd when he first started out, shaky. Now he sounds incredible. It's like
Rihanna is not a Jennifer Hudson. You don't go there expecting to hear these ridiculous ballads and runs.
Yeah.
You know you're not going to get that from her. She's not a dancer. She's not going to hit the stage like Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez. Like, she's not that person. She's never been that person. She'll give you a 1-2 step. So that's why I'm like, yo, what do you guys expect? What, you guys want it like fucking features?
I think
like,
it's because of Beyonce exists.
Like, shut up.
It's because Beyonce exists, and that will forever be the litmus test for other artists. Is once you have that person there, everyone's measured up against that person, and especially when you're a black woman, they're gonna measure you up against other black women and make it very unfair. And like she, especially with her, if you've grown with her over the years, and it's not like she's new, man. Like she's been around 17 years. You should know what to expect by now. I also think her winning in almost every category of her life has a lot to do with it as well. People need something to say you're not perfect about. You know what I mean? Like, she's an ambassador. She looks out for the impoverished. She makes lines of makeup
always,
for
like, yo, think
she's always
about
always looking out for like the little person.
Think about where she came from. She came from a small ass island. Like, Barbados is not a big island. I've been around it. Like, from one area to the next in a couple hours. Like, you could do it in a couple hours. There's not that many people. They don't even have cows there, okay? Like, she came from a very small fucking island to being on a stage that it's not the World Cup, but shit, it's one of the biggest, like,
it's America's World Cup.
sporting events.
Yeah.
Be happy for that. And she continuously reps Barbados, you know? She doesn't, like...
I don't know why she's not repping her home, Jamaica. It's very weird.
Gosh.
But we'll talk to her about that. It's fine.
But I'm just like, yo, she never forgot her roots. You know what I mean? So I just think that people just judge
They need
too
to give more
much, and
grace,
you
man.
just can't. Like, I was just amazed by everything that was going on. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even. I didn't even know she. Like, people kept saying to me like, "Oh, she's pregnant. She's pregnant." I'm like, yo, she had a baby last year. She hasn't gotten skinny. She hasn't made it public like Beyonce did about having some ridiculous, intense workout and diet to get back into shape. Because Beyonce made that very public when she was doing it for Coachella. Rihanna didn't do that. Rihanna's been still had the baby weight. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm just like, oh, whatever. I didn't see her rubbing no belly, like nothing. I was just like, okay, whatever.
From the second she came on, I thought she was pregnant. I'm not gonna lie to you. From the second she came on,
they said that the second
my
first
whole
shot,
timeline was like, is she?
Yeah, because the first thing she did was like open her jacket and like rub her belly. But I didn't even notice that.
I didn't see
I was
that.
just, like,
I didn't see her
looking at-
rub her belly.
I was
just
looking
looked
at
her.
everything, like
I just looked
the
at
imagery, like the fireworks. I thought it was great. Like,
her. I thought the camera work was phenomenal.
yeah,
They had that last shot where she screams "Diamonds in the Sky," and it's just a slow pan out, and then the firework. I was like,
and you see everybody
Give them
like
the Emmy.
lights and stuff.
give
like
them
that.
the Emmy. I'm like, that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just there, like looking up at it. And
We're gonna
just,
big up
like,
our black woman on this blood clot.
I don't know.
We do something here each and every week, man.
Yeah.
We don't miss a week. Not a single blood clot week we miss. And that is our good youth of the week. You're such a good youth. My goodness. How you so good? All the goodness of this youth. Wow. Wow. So much goodness. Obviously, Rihanna. We have to give it up for Rihanna. Super Bowl performance. Just incredible work. Beyonce, the most Grammy-nominated artist in history.
Yes.
Big up. Hold on. Big up. Lizzo, first black woman to win Record of the Year since Whitney Houston. Big up yourself.
Wow.
Since 1994. Big up yourself.
Yo, I think Lizzo's so slept on the black community.
Mm.
I don't think that we give her enough credit and realize how amazing of an artist she is.
I've listened to her music. I can see why. She does make black music. She's a black woman, but it's still a little skewed in sound to radio. It sounds like
But she's a pop star.
I get that, but not everybody likes that.
Mm.
Especially in the black community. That's probably there's a lot of pop has a history of being disingenuous and inauthentic when it comes to the generating of hits. It's like a hit factory. So it comes off, it loses that connection
Rihanna's
with
a pop
people.
star.
Rihanna's a pop star by force. I don't think she's a pop star. And her pop hits are like they just slap. It's just that simple. They slap across all ethnicities. I don't think people are making a concerted effort to not like Lizzo's music, because if you listen to her, the girl can sing, she can rap, she can play flute, she can dance, and she can do it all at the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time, she can do that for an entire performance. So there's no denying that. It's like
I
watching
think
LeBron. There's no denying that. But a lot of people don't like LeBron's style of play. A lot of people don't like LeBron's flopping. It's just certain things you're just not going to like. You can respect it, but I'm not going to necessarily fuck. Like, I love music.
I think it's a weight thing. I think that she does not fit how
I don't agree.
we love our superstars to look.
I don't agree. Kelly Price was bigger than her. Luther Vandross was huge.
And when were they?
I could name so many big artists that made hits that
when?
we all fucked with.
But when?
What do you mean when? What does that have to do with
the 80s
there were more
and
scrutiny
90s?
on fat people in the 80s and 90s.
No, but it was then compared to now. Like, we have social media and everybody wants to look like they like
everybody
are
wanted to
BBL'd
look
out.
like that then too. Nobody wanted to be fat then. They had way more shaming back then. Now you shame, you get in trouble for it. You think there's more shaming now of fat people?
Yes.
How? I think there's more examples of the media trying to shape your image, but I don't think there's nearly as much fat shaming as 80s and 90s. It was on TV. It was in movies. It was everywhere.
You can't say it, but you can imply it, and you can mentally be like, oh, I don't like Lizzo because she's just a fat girl.
But you think that that's worse than verbally saying it?
I'm saying that's why I don't think the black community is as much on her side.
I don't agree with that at all. There's been tons of overweight celebrities that we fucked with over
There's none
decades.
right now. There's none right now.
So there needs to be one right now for us to fuck with one right now?
Yes. When we were little, do you think we knew anything? No.
Yes, we did. We knew they were fat. What are you talking about?
But that didn't change anything. We didn't
Exactly.
know. And when we were little, do you think you had like idolized like body weight until you got into later? And when social media is at its peak. Everybody wants to look a certain way. It's very trendy to look like you have the smallest waist and the fattest ass.
I agree.
We didn't have that. Like,
there's more inclusivity now than there was ever in the 80s and 90s. There's way more avenues for bigger people, for gay people, for all minority groups. There are way more opportunities now than ever before. More inclusivity, more support online, more any of that than there was ever been. I can't agree with that.
I think I'm telling you.
So you
my
think
opinion.
it was more inclusive?
I'm not saying that it was
accepting.
more inclusive. I think that the white people are like, okay, we like her as is, whatever. I think black people are like, okay,
black people are shaming her because she's fat, and white people are not.
They probably do, but they like her.
Crazy.
There's plenty
because
of
they
people.
like her music. Her music is their style of music.
Okay, well, I don't understand then. If she makes pop music, Rihanna makes pop music. So
they make very different tunes. You can't say her music is the same as Rihanna's music. You cannot.
Okay.
You think they're comparable? Like they're the same type of music?
They're pop songs.
Pop is not a genre. It is a state of being in this industry.
Well,
are you popular or are you not?
They make it a genre.
She makes it a genre.
Who?
Rihanna's music, I can point to reggae songs. I can point to R&B songs
and which
that
one
became pop hits because she's a pop star.
Which one of the biggest ones?
The ones
Diamonds?
that are those are the biggest ones because white people are also on board, but that doesn't mean black people are not on board because white people are on board. Black people didn't stop liking Diamonds because white people liked it. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm not saying that people are not liking her music because white people like it.
But you're saying it's because
that
of the weight.
She doesn't fit the image of the people that we like now.
She doesn't fit the image of white people either. White people shame fat people way more than black people.
All right.
We're way more accepting of that.
Okay.
If you look at white men and trying to get white women, they won't even like women with too big of butts. Like, that's a problem. So they want the skinniest. I think there's way more scrutiny in the white world than there is in the black world. I think it has everything to do with the type of music she's making. I don't think that the music appeals to both types of people. And if it did, I don't think there would be any. And I'm pretty sure, even saying I'm pretty sure she has tons of black people listen to her.
She says it herself. No, when you go to a Lizzo concert, like there was somebody who posted like, yo, I'm like not one of the only, but there's not that many black people in the stadium.
I
or
could say
in
that
the
at a
arena.
Kendrick concert, though. I could say that any concert, really. Kendrick concerts, majority white people. And I've been to the ones where he was at Rebel, and I've been to the ones where he's at ACC. There's no difference. White people. Tyler, the Creator. White people.
I was going to say there's a certain rap that white people just really
the boom bap.
Yeah.
It's the
really
purists. They feel like they're
like, and they will show out about that.
Method Man,
Anyways.
Wu-Tang, white people.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
And they're riders.
They will fight you. They will. If you have a Method Man t-shirt on right now, and a white guy fucks with Method Man, he's quizzing you.
Yeah.
He's quizzing you. And yo, Patty, you gotta talk to your people. Patty, you gotta talk to your people. Let us wear our rock band tees because they look good. We don't need to know the names of the rock bands. We don't need to know the drummer. I don't give a fuck who the guitarist or the bassist. I don't care. It just looks good. Tell your people, leave me alone. But anyways, Lizzo, we love you. Don't get this misconstrued. We love you. I think she's accomplished incredible things.
She has.
But the music is just not for me personally. And there are tons of black people that do listen to her. I just don't think it's as many as we're used to seeing with the Rihanna or Beyonce or that. And I don't think it has anything to do with weight, honestly. It's the music.
I literally do, because we idolize, like, the reason why social media is the way that it is because we get to see into other people's lives and we're able to idolize what we don't have.
Yeah.
And so Rihanna is a beautiful woman who is in shape, who knows how to dress, and you look at her and you're like, I want to be like her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see Lizzo, very fucking talented.
Mm-hmm.
She's beautiful, but she doesn't have the body that we are told to have.
Okay.
And so I just think that they're like,
and
okay,
that's
like
exclusively with
they're
women,
like,
you think?
they're like, let me just write you off.
I think. Do you think that that's exclusively with
And-
women?
And they'll be like, oh, she's so fucking extra because she's fat and she'll wear fucking chaps. But so does Megan Thee Stallion. Like, her booty's always out. So it's like,
Two
oh,
different
but
booties.
Lizzo can't, you know?
Yeah.
And people will be like, oh, she's so extra because she wants to like twerk. Cardi B's extra, you know? Cardi B does the most.
I see what you're saying in terms of like what they want to see and who they give that privilege to over who they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, would you say the same thing as with men, or is it just strictly with women when it comes to that?
I think women mainly.
It's hard to argue this because I don't want to call women like undesirable and give examples of non-attractive women that are, you know what I mean? Like, then it just feels mean. I'm like, but this person's, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to like argue it. I see what you mean in terms of the pretty privilege taking, feeding into the careers a little bit, but I'm always a firm believer that content trumps everything. Like, I've seen Kodak Black, who looks like a cockroach, literally create a career where people are calling him better than Drake.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, niggas can be the ugliest pieces of shit
Okay,
and be
that's
so
why I
fucking
asked you
popular.
if it's women. That's why I
Yeah,
asked
so
you if
I
it's
think
women.
I think it's more women. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be some type of scenario where it might fit for a man, but I think it's mainly women. If women don't look a certain way, then it's gonna be either they're after a different demographic, or they're just gonna have a harder time in life.
And is this black
Because-
women? Is
'cause
this
Lizzo
black
has
music we're
said-
talking about, or is this like across the genre of pop as women?
I think it's black women.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really know white women like that. You know, like Kelly Clarkson has weight issues, but she's really like popular. So I don't know. But again, white
I
people
think it's
just
all
like,
the music, man. I'm
people
telling
just
you,
like
it's
the
music
music.
and the marketing, because Lizzo doesn't necessarily market to black people. She just markets to people
but
in
this
general.
is what she's literally said in in interviews.
that she
people
makes
will-
black music.
People will always say like, "Oh, you are after the white people, after the white people." She's like, "I'm a black ass woman making music about my life as a black woman."
She said, I'm making black ass music about my black ass life or some shit like that. And I get it. But also your marketing from a team standpoint is not directed to us. It's just not. I cannot say one thing that she did that went viral in Black Twitter. And I don't think that has anything to do with
Yes. The things that went viral in Black Twitter was her sitting courtside with her ass out.
Yeah.
That went viral in Black
But
Twitter.
it wasn't marketed to us.
And people were like, "Oh, she's so annoying. Oh, why she look like that? Why her ass out like that?" But if
I feel
Megan Thee
like-
Stallion did that, everybody's like, "Oh, look at that ass."
Yeah, it's pretty privileged. And standards of beauty and what people consider beautiful and whatnot, those all play into it. But I feel like also in terms of like just marketability, there's like a thing where the labels use certain people as divisive, if that makes sense. Like Lizzo is a divisive personality because she's a big girl that's super confident, super talented, and that's threatening to a lot of people who don't like bigger people or whatever the case may be. So you put Lizzo on courtside and you throw up a video, they make sure they put the video on her. They make sure they showed pictures of her going into the game. I remember they had that video of her walking through the tunnel. And it's okay, for example, I just saw a post the other day, a white girl posts a bunch of white music, right? White women music. And posts a bunch of black men music and say, see, women make better music than men. Knowing full and well, they only posted white women and they only posted black men music, right? So they know that it's not just surface level woman versus men they're saying. They're saying black music is worse than white music, right? Went and looked at their page. Like 200 posts. That's it. 200 posts. Okay, Twitter been out since 2009. 200 posts. I scroll down their shit. It's all the same type of stuff, right? And we've talked about these sleeper agents on here before where it's like, there are people that are on Twitter that are not people. And they are literally agents sent to send us into discourse.
Well, that's what Lil Nas X did. He did that.
What do you mean? Oh, with the Nicki Minaj thing?
Yeah, he created accounts as a different person to be able to promote his music.
Yeah, but like
secretly.
I mean controversy though. I'm talking more so like the $200 date discussions. The who's is someone bringing your plate to, is your girl fixing your plate? All these little distracting side conversations that take over the timeline for 48 hours. And people are not paying attention to, like Chloe Brown saying, the policies that are being passed, the bills, the different things that are happening in your community because you're so busy arguing about this bullshit. And I believe that they use Lizzo as a tool of that as well. So like when Lizzo does something where she shows up to a game innocently dressed in however she wants to dress, they know it's just like Shade Room when Shade Room puts up a video and doesn't say anything. But they know exactly what's going to happen in that comment section. Like when they posted Homeboy from Insecure and his white wife at their wedding. They knew what was going to happen in the comments, but they leave it up to everybody else to argue and bicker about. And that's what I feel like happens on Twitter every week. So I check someone's page, they have 90 followers, yet their shit has 5,000 likes and retweets, and it's super viral, and the whole timeline is talking about it. There was this girl the other day that everybody's been posting lately saying, who is this? Why are they on my timeline every day all of a sudden? There's one verified account. I blocked them like immediately because every day I started seeing them, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You just came out of nowhere. And it's posing as this black girl. And it's like someone's reverse image and it's somebody else's picture that they're using. So I don't trust none of this shit, man. Honestly, they use a lot of these people as divisive. Especially when you talk about the BBL woman, the discussion and discourse that's arisen from that. If you look at the type of woman that gets signed, it's always the same type look, or they always end up in the same type of look. It's like nothing, there's no individuality. And a lot of people, a lot of artists especially, I feel like are tools for divisiveness and discussion and distraction. And like, Lizzo, unfortunately, is one of those characters that they use to throw out there to make us argue and to make us hate each other, especially when you have these black men and other men, frankly, who are being trained by Andrew Tate and all these little manosphere fucks. And they go and you throw out a Lizzo to them, and it's like, it's over. You know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? And it becomes a way bigger discussion than it has to be because of all these divisive bots. So I really think it has a lot to do with that as well, where she never got a fair shake online, not from the jump. If you were to hear Lizzo's story from anyone else, you'd be flabbergasted. Like if Kendrick had that story, people would be sucking his dick. It's crazy, man. It's unfortunate she has to go through all that, but we've gone over our time considerably. Thank you guys so much tuning in. A classic, man. A classic episode. That is for John Tory.
Oh, okay, yeah. Shout out to Chloe Brown for pulling up.
Yes. Jamaican queen, who you guys heard it here first, man. She's running for mayor again. So make sure you guys vote this time. All right. I see way more online Twitter votes than actual votes.
Yeah.
You guys need to really actually get out there. The polling stations are not far. They're not expensive. It's free. Like, you'll be fine, and the government's not gonna come searching for you just because you filled out a ballot. Like you
and
you
have
work in
some,
Aldo.
like make your friends come with you.
Yeah,
Make it
man,
be
make
like
it a
group.
thing.
Make it be like a group,
A
you know?
thing, man. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Patreon gang, love y'all. No bonus episode this week. We gave y'all 2 last week. Gave y'all 2. One of those bonus episodes we'll put out this weekend publicly with Dave Merhej, big comedian from Rami. Norm was here with him and Nitty. Nitty, one of our returning guests that's been on the podcast probably 3 times now, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, he's always got the hilarious stories. So make sure you guys tune in for that. If you're not on YouTube, if you're listening to this, check us out on YouTube, man.
Yes.
The video is so much more worth it. The audio's great, but you want to see this shit too, man.
Yeah.
You have anything coming up?
Well, it's not really announced, so maybe next week I'll share that.
Another baby. Wow, she's following in Rihanna's footsteps.
Hell
Um,
no. No.
Extra Gravy Comedy tonight at Comedy Bar. We have a special Black History Month edition with some Black Canadian legends, okay?
Nice.
You guys do not want to miss this. Honestly, it's a very special one for me personally.
Yeah, so Norm will be sitting out.
Yeah, Norm is still out of the country.
He's racist.
Plus,
he doesn't want to support.
Can't let non-niggas in the building that night. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, come on out. Comedy Bar, 9:30 p.m. We got a great show. About 5 or 6 comedians that are coming and bringing the heat tonight. So Comedy Bar, 9:30 p.m. Link is in my bio for tickets on Instagram or on Extra Gravy Show Instagram. And I'm Marlon.
And I'm Alicia.
And that was the Extra Gravy.
Skirt,
Skirt. Bam, 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 bam.